wanna see me mad. I'll be coming with that payback. You don't wanna taste that. Don't wanna see me on attack. Trust me, you don't wanna face that. Adrenaline, I crave that. Yeah, you know I'm nasty. I'm about to be a savage. When I want it, better have it. Nothing's getting past me. About to take this to the mat, and you'll be wishing you could take it back, yeah. Like an assassin, I'm praying. I gotta act on a craving. I'm coming after, I'm chasing. I'm gonna capture, erasing. Yeah, those who cross me, you'll be crossed off, cause I'm plotting. About to pop off, you can't stop me. Winning is exhausting, but I don't plan on stopping. As long as they keep talking, I got these bodies dropping. As long as they keep walking, I'll keep making deposits. They'll find out they can't stop it, cause they'll learn that I'm a prophet. Yo, I'm seeing all red. Got my vision blurry from the anger in my head. I'll never be second best. They gon' learn today what it feels to regret. You can't stop me now. The beat's tearing out. I'll be coming to your neck, cause I'm seeing all red. Vision blurry from the anger in my head. I'll never be second best. They gon' learn today what it feels to regret. You can't stop me now. The beat is tearing out. I'll be coming to your neck, cause I'm seeing all red. Cause I'm seeing all red. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python. Grab what I like real fast, choke until I have everything. I attack everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick, and let's get the show started. It's already been a crazy day, and it's only going to get crazier every single time. Get it? It reminds me of a scene of Beetlejuice. But yeah, it's getting crazy. Times are getting crazy. People are getting crazy. Um, this goes straight to the news because there's some breaking news out of New York. There's a shooting happening in Midtown, I believe. Let me set it up for you guys and let's watch it together.
Major police presence continues. Active investigation will follow, but you saw the first responders out on the scene as well, and then
Hey,
you
Seven.
had
How you doing? I gotta
holding
put it on my
pattern
phone
of
because
the emergency
my vision's
crews
changing.
as well
I don't know
as
why
fire
my
and
vision changes.
ambulances, and now you have more people just
See.
coming out to see what is going on. They're hearing all the noise and commotion. You have police putting up yellow tape to try to control the crowd and to remind them not to go over the yellow line here that has been established as this is all unfolding right now on Live Now from Fox. We are continuing to bring you these feeds as we can. Sky Fox is now coming to the scene. We'll give you that look here in just a moment. But many reporters, as you can see, are converging here as well. And right now, we want to go out to Fox 5 New York, where they are starting some of their breaking news coverage. Let's listen in right now. We have Fox 5's Linda Schmidt on the scene.
For more than 20 years. He happened to be walking by. How long ago was it, Matt?
About an hour ago, I was walking home, going to Grand Central, and then I saw a rush of people come from behind me. I had my headphones on, so I couldn't hear. And then somebody said, gunshots, gunshots. And then I turned around, and more people were running, and then it kind of quieted down. So I walked back towards the Bank of America to check it out, and then I saw a bunch of cops, guns drawn, going into the side entrance, not Bank of America, but the side entrance on Park, off a park, going in there, guns drawn. And then a few minutes later, a rush of people came out, and then 4 police officers were bringing out another officer who was looked injured. He was being carried by his arms and his legs off, and I don't know the status of him or what happened.
Right, and at this point, we don't know. It's important to point out. I mean, I know you saw them carrying him out, but we don't know if it's a police officer. We don't know if it's a security guard. We don't know if it's somebody in some other type of uniform.
It was somebody in uniform, but you're right. It looked like a police officer to me, but it's the same color uniform. But it could have been somebody else. You're right.
Now, I want to take a look at all the activity that's going on here. Just go right over my shoulder, Gus. You can see there are hundreds of police officers out here. Now, they have pushed us back from the scene. We were across the street at East 50th and Empire Avenue.
Right,
now
good.
They've pushed us on the other side of the street.
Yeah, as soon as I come on, this is breaking news right now in New York.
Like a 4-block area from 50th going up to 53rd, and from Madison going down to Lexington. So they are not letting people walk up and down the side streets. I saw SWAT teams arrive here. When we pulled up, it was about, say, 20 minutes ago. We have emergency service unit. That is the SWAT team. Them showing up. We're talking about the trained officers that carry the long guns that you have seen so many different times, especially in incidents where we have been doing stories on possible terror attacks. The sirens are going off like crazy here. I mean, cop cars just keep arriving, undercover cars, regular NYPD cruisers. There is management here from all different levels from the NYPD. And from what we are hearing, there is still an active shooter situation. Now, at this point, we don't know exactly what the building is. Now, we were told it's a Bank of America building, but we don't know if it's that entrance that the officers were went into.
gonna have
They
to
went
go
entrance.
live.
That would have been on not on Park Avenue, outside entrance.
On 51st, it was the side entrance, not the Bank of America right in the front there, but that side entrance is where they were all going in. And I did see the SWAT teams go in at one point, and
Once
then
this finishes,
like
we'll go
people coming
live.
out, running, and then bring the officer out.
Hold on just a moment. Sorry, I'm getting a call from one of my colleagues, one of my managers.
Girl, you
Hold
didn't
on
have
just a
to
moment.
announce
Hold
that.
on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you talk? Hello? 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 Okay, whoever's trying to reach me, it's not going through.
Girl, you're on live.
All right, hold on just a moment. I want to look at Slack here because we've got some information.
There's a lot of
that's coming
activity
across
for
Slack
just a shooting. I mean, yes, there's a shooting, but
about what
this
exactly
is
is going on
a
here.
lot of different
It's saying
police,
there are at
like
least
police officers
3
here,
injured.
and they're all just standing around.
And again, all of this information is preliminary.
What is going on here?
From a law enforcement source telling my colleague Arthur Sheehan, at least 6 people shot.
6 people
1
shot.
police officer was on paid detail, possibly from the Bronx. Now, again, this is all preliminary information. He's also being told that there is an AR-15 and a vest on the gunman. So the gunman is wearing a bulletproof vest and is carrying an AR-15. That is what my colleague Arthur Sheehan is hearing right now from some of his law enforcement sources. So this is still a very active scene. Again, law enforcement saying, telling Arthur Sheehan from his sources, at least 6 people shot. Now,
Because the Men in Black.
This is breaking news.
This is the Men in Black.
This information could change 5 minutes from now. This
Did they
is
get
how
an
it
SUV Men
happens.
in Black?
It's a developing story. More and more police are showing up here in marked cars and in black SUVs, unmarked vehicles. Lots of police officers here. We've got state police, the NYPD, and plenty of police
but they're just
officers
standing around.
walking around with long guns. And again,
all they're
pushing
doing.
the
They're just
public
standing
back
there.
as far as possible. The location where we are right now,
Well,
the
what
video
are they
that you're
good
looking
for?
at
They're just
is
standing
East
around.
50th Street and Park Avenue. That's about, Matt, what is it, a block or 2?
About a block, yep, about a block or 2.
Mayor Adams are on the scene. He's wearing a bulletproof vest. He is with his security detail. He
Mayor
is talking
Adams
on the
right there.
phone. He is being updated by the second about what's going
Mayor
on here.
Adams is
Now,
going
again,
in.
the mayor, a former police captain with the NYPD.
Okay, so let's get out of this and let's go live to Fox News. I don't know what we're seeing here.
Well, it says we have about 20 minutes until we have to leave for fuel. Just checking in.
The sight from above. Was this a domestic attack, like a domestic terrorist attack, or was it a terror attack?
Full of rifle case and a backpack, which they went through a lot of the stuff. Looks like medication and some food.
The energy's hyped. I tell you, a lot of this crazy shit is going to continue to happen. The sun has sent out 3 major solar flares that it's heading towards Earth. Well, it's already hitting us, and we're getting hit by the 3rd wave. And it's making people act a little weird and act a little crazy. And look at what we're witnessing. It's just, it adds on and on and on. Everything goes on and on and on. I can fast forward this because this was a live feed from earlier. So let me see if I could just fast forward. And I can go back to, because all I'm seeing is some stuff on the ground and the helicopter's just focusing on this little spot here for some reason. This car might have been involved in, that looks like a sunshade for the car, for the windshield that's on the floor here. Looks like, yeah, they are monitoring this vehicle. I can possibly, let me go back. Let me see if we could go back and get like more earlier. Let's go back. This is as far back as I can go. See I guess they're going through some stuff there. Let me go wind back a little bit more. Speed it up a little bit. It looks like they're just checking those items. Okay, so they're saying the 6 got shot or 6 are injured. It looks like it's just part of the investigation. They're like the beginning of the investigation. They're taking photos for evidence. My vision's really bad right now. I'm sorry, guys. It's just it happens from time to time. My vision like changes on me, and like it's hard for me to see with my glasses. So I try to do it without my glasses on, but it's even harder without my glasses. Let me see. What is going on in the world? This is getting crazy. Okay. I guess search for suspect in violent after Bronx Dominican parade. Let me see what the story is, because this is coming out of the Bronx, so we're gonna check that out too. I'm searching for more of this New York mass response here. It's I am opening up a couple of windows here, so bear with me. I'm trying to deal with my vision at the same time. It's just not fun having like your vision change. Let's go to this one first. So we know Fox News is gonna do that ring. Let's open it up. Not what I wanted. What are you doing, Fox? Okay, let's make it wide.
This is a Fox News alert. There's an active shooter situation in Midtown Manhattan. Mayor Eric Adams says, don't go outside if you are near Park on live from the scene. Eric, what can you tell us? All these reports are flying across the internet. At this point, we have very little confirmed, but I know you're working on that.
Yes, Laura. I'm right now across the street from the shooting scene, and the reports that I have is that the shooter is down. The shooter is dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He apparently had some tactical equipment. The mass shooting occurred at 345 Park Avenue. That's a massive building on 52nd and Park Avenue. And for those who know, it's the heart of Manhattan, the heart of New York City. We are a block away from Rockefeller Center. At some point in the last 45 minutes or so,
I've been through it. I've been by there.
Apparently went up to the 33rd floor of this building. There were reports of multiple people shot. Local reports say at least 6 shot. Reports say that there are apparently victims in the stairwells. That could indicate that when the shooting started, people started to flee, and perhaps the active shooter was pursuing some of those people. We don't know that for sure. We're waiting for an official press conference from authorities. But right now, there are hundreds of New York City police officers who have cordoned off and frozen this whole area from about 54th Street on down to Grand Central Station, the Grand Central Terminal, in the heart of New York City's skyscrapers and business district, as they wait to try and flush out and remove any of the victims by EMS and get a determination on the cause or the motive of the shooter. Again, Laura, I have been told, not confirmed, that the shooter is dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and at least 6 people have been shot, and they were responding to potential victims in the stairwells.
Yeah, what we're learning about the building now, the New York Post is reporting and other outlets are reporting that the building on Park Avenue houses the NFL, Blackstone, and other major corporate headquarters. This is a prominent address in Midtown Manhattan, and we don't know if there's any connection between the shooting and any of the tenants in that building. We'll find that all out, but that is prime. That is primo real estate, and those are big corporate headquarters.
Yes, Blackstone, Steve Schwartzman's multi-billion-dollar fund, of course, occupies that building. We have been told, I have been told, that victims or EMS is responding to victims on the 33rd floor. So we're trying to determine as best as we can what office or what company may have been targeted by this active shooter.
There are photos up. We're not going to put them up yet, but there are photos of what looks to be the individual carrying a rifle. Again, reports in the Post and elsewhere that he was carrying a rifle. Unclear if he had other weapons on his person, but it's
I'm sure he had the weapons.
Absolutely shocking photo to see someone walking across a plaza on Park Avenue, openly carrying a rifle in his hand and looking very casual as he's doing that. And again, we don't know if the photo was before or after, or how this photo was taken, but looks like it was taken from a building window or a security camera hanging outside one of the local nearby structures. So Midtown shootout. We'll say, Eric, and you and I know this area well.
Let me work behind
this is one of the busiest times of the day for lawyers and other corporate workers, people in retail, not too far from the Diamond District. Obviously places like Radio City Music Hall, Rockefeller Center, all of this is nearby, and Trump Tower is not far. But it's all central. Yeah, it's all centrally located.
More than a couple. Yeah, 5 blocks. It's across the street from the headquarters of Colgate-Palmolive, for example. And you mentioned photos that you see that I don't have access to. But one has to wonder, how did this gunman then get access into the building? You have to go in, you have to go past lobby security, you have to go up in an elevator in order to get up to the
I'm going to get the picture.
Floor. So these are all questions.
I'm working on getting a picture.
The latest that we have, of course, not officially, that the shooter is down. The shooter killed himself of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. At least 6 people have been wounded in this. Multiple victims and has also been shot. He obviously responding to these reports of a man, as you say, with a rifle, right in the heart of the corporate world. We've had so much criticism of corporations. We don't want to speculate on the exact
I see it on my phone. I don't see it here.
Situation. This could be an employee who was fired. This will find out everything about the motivation and who this person is. It is far too early to speculate any type of motive, exactly why this is, as this tragedy is unfolding as we speak.
Eric, the man in the New York Post coverage, which is more extensive now, seen wearing a blazer, a button-down shirt, dark sunglasses, as he's carrying what appears to be a style rifle with a strap. And
that's what I'm seeing too.
But he looked like he might all an AR style rifle. And again, he's not running in this photo. He's casually walking. And New York Post has these photos. So that
would tell you potentially with a blazer and a button-down shirt, you've got a preppy style of an executive, perhaps, who may be taking out his anger against one of the companies there. We don't know.
We don't know.
Would indicate that, but is of course far too early as this unfolds, and we will find out exactly what happened here. But right now, the whole part of Midtown is frozen at the moment as they are responding to those who are still in distress.
Yeah. Well, we haven't confirmed that this is the shooter, but it's hard to imagine someone would be strolling along Park Avenue with an AR-style rifle, casually, a laser in a button-down shirt, and be the shooter. So that'd be pretty easy to distinguish. Eric, thank you. Eric, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
On my phone, I'm going to have to come up
to Fox News YouTube
page. Let me pause this here. Let me come back over to me. I do have the picture of the guy, but it's on my phone. So I'm going to have to show you guys, just to come up and show you guys from my phone what the guy looked like and the weapon he was carrying. So give me 1 second. Let me zoom in. This is what the guy looks like. That what the guy looked like. I think let's see if I can make it brighter. Let's see if it's better. So make it better if I lower the. But that's what he looked like. That's what the weapon he was carrying. It was an AK-47. It looks like. Light on it. See if it's any better. Yeah, you can see the weapon a little bit better. Yeah, put it like that. You can see the weapon. And that's what the gentleman looked like. Looks like a black gentleman. A black gentleman with glasses. Looks like he had a blue shirt underneath, like a little jacket. It looked a little too hot to be wearing a jacket like this. I mean, but that's the weapon he was holding. That's the individual that the news is talking about right now. That they saying that they can't show the picture. They can't show the picture. You motherfuckers! If I can show the picture, you can show the picture too. Full of shit. But that's what the guy looks like. And he's the one with that had the shootout. Now he shot, saying that he shot 6 people. I don't know if that's the true count. We don't know the true count because you just don't know. He shot up a whole bunch of people in New York. So let's see if the live here has anything. Nah, they're going back to fill up the helicopter. Man, they got beautiful pictures. I mean, you want to see New York City from the police helicopter? I can show you guys. Let me bring it back over here. Drop it back this way. I can't. And that picture was from TMZ. Is where I got that picture from. All right, I think. Yep, I got a picture. I got a picture here online. Give me 1 second. I could probably share this right here real quick. Give me 1 sec. It's uploading, so it's going to take its time uploading. Oh, yes, I got it. Confirmed. This is what the guy looks like. Let me see if I could. Can I make this smaller? Hold on. Let me see if I can resize this. What a time for my vision to be acting up. Let's see if I can make it smaller. I think that'll work. Okay. Here we go. This is what the gentleman looks like. Right here. Now, I know it kind of looks a little on the screen, but let me make it big for a second. There you go. That's the gentleman that opened fired in New York, in Manhattan. As you can see, the weapon that he's carrying, since the news are too sensitive, they just, I don't know, the media, the news don't report the news anymore. They're more into the gossip than news. They need to start doing their jobs. But this is the gentleman. He looks like a black gentleman. He's possibly maybe in his 40s. And he's walking with this weapon. It's like casually walking, but it's a high powered weapon. This is a AR. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably an AR-15. Okay, that's a little creepy. Let me come back over to the New York. Let's check out over here, this side. They're like, we're looking at this car for a long period of time, but it seems like the helicopter is going to be leaving the scene soon. Let me just fast forward a little bit. Yeah, you can see all the police present all around this area here. This is going to be a really active. Look, you see, they're all. This is going to be a wild night for New York. Traffic is going to be hell in this area. But this is not only happening here, this is happening everywhere. This chaos is going everywhere. I'm telling you, the energy that's hitting our planet is very strong and is causing the sensitive, weak-minded individuals to go a little insane and cause mayhem. So this is Gotham City, aka New York City. Once upon a time was a very beautiful city. Right now, it's just full of corruption. Look, you see Times Square. That's Times Square right there. We just passed by Times Square. Yeah, it used to be a really great city once upon a time. Now it's just, to me, it's like, it's garbage. The government that runs the city is just horrible. The governor is garbage. It's not what it used to be, and it's going to take a true leader to step up and take over the city and make it much like a better way. Right now, it's just not a good place. Definitely not a good place. We're just taking a view right here of New York City. Shortly, we're going to see the Statue of Liberty. If I'm thinking the direction that he's going, I think he's heading back to like JFK area. I think he's going in for refueling, and if that's the case, we're going to see the Statue of Liberty. You can see that one tower. That's where the Twin Towers used to be. You got that one tower sticking up. That's the Trade Center, the One World Trade Center. That's right there over here. Yeah, I think he's going back to JFK to refuel. I would like to see the Statue of Liberty, so let's keep it on here for a little bit and see if we get a view of the Statue of Liberty. Make myself nice and big here. This AC is making too much noise for me. I hope you guys are having a good day. Got a little mayhem going on in New York. Gentleman opened fire on maybe former employee, a disgruntled employee, who knows. This gentleman just went in there and opened fire, striking probably more than 6 people. The suspect is down. He's been neutralized and taken out. What are we looking at here? Is that Ellis Island? No, that's not Ellis Island. Ellis Island would be more towards the right. I want to see the Statue of Liberty. We're going to see the Statue of Liberty. We should be able to see it coming up soon, because I believe he's going to JFK. Show me the statue. And I think this is going to be, where is it? Where is that Statue of Liberty? We're looking back. The left side is Jersey. The right top side is New York City. It's Manhattan. I think Statue of Liberty should be around here. It should be coming up soon. Where is she? It's going to be on the right bottom side here. Where is she? Okay, showing Jersey here. We're not seeing the Statue of Liberty. Should be coming up. There she is on the right side. Statue of Liberty. There you are. Yeah, symbolism of that statue has a lot of story behind it. That's for damn sure. So the helicopter's going for a refill. You can see I can fast forward it. It's down, so the helicopter is getting it's getting loaded up with fuel. So let's bring it back to me. That was crazy. Yeah, we gotta keep it going with the news because there's a lot of news going on. So let's go ahead and pause this here. We're gonna watch this later. This is Jason A put out a video. I'm pretty sure he put out a couple of them. Let me check real quick. Got a lot of windows open. I do. Oh boy, we do have. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we got a upload from Jason A. We're gonna check that out later. We also got a video from Tyson De La Cruz. We're gonna watch a little bit. There was a shooting, I believe, in the Bronx or something in the Bronx. We're gonna check that out now. I wonder what in the hell is going on. It's like, oh, we got a lot of catching up to do. Let's see here. What's going on in the Bronx?
To the Bronx now, a manhunt underway for the attackers who shot and killed two men in a parking lot in Throgs Neck this morning. This after a violent weekend in the borough. Specifically, 3 people were shot. Another person was stabbed following the Bronx Dominican Parade yesterday on the Grand Concourse. Eyewitness News reporter Joe Torres live in Fordham as the search continues for those responsible.
Hey, Fordham Road. I used to go shopping there.
Joe?
When I was little.
Sandra, it is so often true. People don't remember facts as much as they remember stories. So when they hear the mayor recite facts about the reduction in crime and in shootings, and they compare those numbers to their stories regarding life experiences here in the Bronx, well, the two are diametrically opposed, and those people point to the last 24 hours as an example. One day after the Bronx Dominican Parade, the NYPD returned to the Grand Concourse, not to investigate a shooting or a stabbing, but to pick up the police barriers that lined the parade route. But the violence that marred the festive celebrations still sits top of mind for many of the people here.
It's supposed to be a day where you have fun, celebrate your country, and bad things happen. So it's like, when are you going to stop? You know?
Yesterday's violence happened during a 90-minute span shortly after the conclusion of the parade. 2 people shot and injured, and 1 person stabbed, all very close to the parade route along the Grand Concourse. Further away from the parade, another shooting injured a 23-year-old male. The gun violence continued into this morning with the fatal shooting of 2 young men in Throgs Neck. In each case, the gunman or attacker got away. The gun violence of yesterday and today came after a Sunday news conference organized by the mayor and police commissioner. Together, they announced historic reductions in the number of shootings across the 5 boroughs. They highlighted the NYPD's removal of 3,000 illegal guns taken off the streets in the first half of the year.
We are at the lowest number of shooting incidents and the lowest number of shooting victims ever recorded in New York City.
But back on the streets of the Bronx, the mayor's eye-opening facts and the people's everyday experiences represent 2 very different realities. In their eyes, crime now is just as bad as it was years and decades ago.
Things that he's saying are not true. There's more violence, more guns in these streets than ever.
I don't believe that there are that many differences from now compared to then when it comes to the way that crime occurs.
The shootings yesterday, not far from the Grand Concourse, they were not fatal. The shootings this morning were deadly. 2 young men died. We'll have more on that coming up on our next reports on Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock and at 6 o'clock, and a little bit more on the juxtaposition between the facts from the mayor and the perspective of the people.
I tell you right now, it's not safe to go to New York. I would not go to New York. Hell no. Let's go to the next news.
We're learning new details about the Delta pilot who passengers say was forced off a flight by federal agents after the plane landed at SFO last night. ABC 7's Frances Wang spoke with one of those passengers. Tonight, that passenger says she is still in disbelief about what she saw play out.
Tonight, planes coming and going at San Francisco International. Business as usual. But on Saturday night, when Delta Flight 2809 from Minneapolis landed, it was anything but business.
We were all shocked and stunned what was happening.
Sarah frequently flies this route. She tells ABC 7 just after the plane landed and passengers began reaching for their bags, federal agents rushed on board.
They barged through and stormed the cockpit, removed the co-pilot, cuffed him, presumably arrested him, brought him back down the aisle to deplane.
She counted at least 10 agents, some wearing badges she recognized from Homeland Security. ABC 7 reached out to the Department of Homeland Security, who referred us to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Tonight, we're still waiting for a response.
I don't know if this person was disappearing before our eyes, if there had been a crime committed, or what exactly was happening.
Other passengers, flight attendants, even the other pilot, Sarah says looked just as confused. The image of the co-pilot being taken off the plane still sticks with her.
It was scary. It was traumatic to watch. As soon as my husband picked me up from baggage claim, I jumped in the car and cried because who knows what's happening to that poor person, why that happened, what did we just see?
And this isn't the only airline incident making headlines this week. A grandmother on Delta opening up about trying to stop a fellow passenger from entering the cockpit. People left frightened after a Southwest flight rapidly descended to avoid a Hawker Hunter aircraft. And American Airlines flyers out of Denver forced to evacuate shortly after takeoff.
Wow.
What Sarah witnessed coming into SFO.
It's just a huge question mark, and we need to know, why this happened.
That's wild. What's going on? I mean, it's getting too crazy for me. Let's check out this other video here. Decoy voice.
This nukes their credibility after their disgusting coverage of that attack after a jazz festival in Cincinnati. As it was so bad, it has to be mostly censored, where 3 men and a woman are beaten by a mob while the audience cheers it on.
Yeah! Goldie! Goldie!
Snip him again. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I got that too.
But for whatever reason, this story got little to no coverage, until the most famous African-American on social media shared it to 46 million, as the local ABC affiliate reported how disgusting it was that their confident arrests will be made, but both articles embedded this segment.
Videos of fights popped up on Facebook, X, and Instagram. The video appeared to show a crowd attacking a man and then a woman being knocked unconscious. Cincinnati police have not yet said what may have caused the violence. I reached out to Cincinnati police asking if they have any updates on what happened near this intersection Saturday morning or if any possible arrests have been made. As officers continue that investigation, the businesses here on 4th Street work together as a team for each other and their customers.
We like a team down here. We're a family.
I met with these 3 businesses near 4th and Elm. BBQ Chicken, Love on 4th, and Something to Whine About.
We're together in this and making sure that we can share these wonderful experiences.
They said they won't let their hard work be squandered by Saturday's incident.
So first, they want to outright ignore what happened. But when the story goes viral on social media, the local ABC affiliate wants to highlight how the real victims of this heinous attack is the chicken chain and 2 bars. As I was even curious how much attention they brought to this, and found when you click a story about this viral brawl, the actual attack is less than 1/3 of their news segment, as most of it was dedicated to how it impacted the local business owners. Which just serves as a reminder, no matter how much you hate the mainstream media, you don't hate them enough. As how easy would it be for every single person on TV to say, this was a savage beating, and everybody physically participating should be put in prison, as it really shouldn't be that difficult to find people of all colors to condemn that level of violence. But no, It almost seems like this segment is scared to acknowledge how horrible this was, as for some reason, Vice President J.D. Vance very quickly stated the obvious.
A group of people who attacked a couple folks on the street in Cincinnati.
What I saw is a mob of lawless thugs beating up on an innocent person, and it's disgusting. And I hope every single one of those people who engage in violence is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And they will be.
The local Republican senator called out Cincinnati's mayor for staying silent on this, as the assistant attorney general then stated they will closely monitor how the local authorities handle this attack. And what was missing from ABC's segment is how the shared what Vice.
We talk to our teens about, not fighting and how to get along, how to de-escalate. And then you have adults out here just showing bad behavior.
They even quoted her saying this was adults out there showing bad behavior. Now, I'm not saying a mob mercilessly beating people while recording and laughing isn't bad behavior. It's just insane to brush off a mob mercilessly beating people while recording and laughing as just bad behavior. And when the mayor finally made his statement 2 days late, he just said he was outraged by this vicious fight. This isn't who we are. He believes arrests will be forthcoming, closing out with a list of events that are occurring in his city. I legitimately can't understand how hard it is to simply condemn the attackers and recommend they serve long prison sentences to protect people of every color. It took that guy 200 words to awkwardly dance around the fact that 4 of his own citizens were horrendously beaten on his streets. Because when that happens, nobody cares about how their baseball team, their Kirkland brand basketball league, or the local chicken chain is impacted by this attack. But it's not just him, it's the entire system. As searching on Google gets you the story, but somehow also bounces you to LL Cool J is coming to Cincinnati. And also, they're getting almost 600 new jobs. In what world, when you search violent brawl in downtown Cincinnati, are you actually seeking the 500 new manufacturing positions to be made in the next 5 years in neighboring Sharonville? This only sounds stupid because it is stupid, but I guess if you're still relying on the mainstream media, you're probably stupid.
Yep, that's true. This guy's speaking facts. Let's go over to here and let's check this out.
Welcome back. We're about to show you some disturbing video. It's going viral on X. It shows a crowd beating a man and then a woman on the streets of Cincinnati, Ohio. Here's how it started. And again, this is a tough watch.
Oh, shit. Look at this. This is what's going on. Look. Look, who's that lady hitting him? Oh, her wig got snatched. Oh, but they're kicking him in the head. Oh, no. Of course, it's all black people. And this is supposed to be a race, right? And the racist people... What is
all right, and as if that wasn't brutal enough, the next clip shows a man knock a woman out. It's unbelievable. Watch.
Are you kidding me? Oh, shit. What is happening, man? This is fucked up, man. You know, I'm rooting for the fucking asteroid. Fuck everybody.
It's also disturbing. Everything around.
I'm rooting for the asteroid to hit
cheering
us.
on, the cursing, and of course,
nobody
the
deserves to live.
It's so disturbing. It got the attention of Vice President J.D. Vance. He said this when asked about it during a stop in Ohio today.
Because you had a grown man who sucker punched a middle-aged woman. That person ought to go to jail for a very long time. And frankly, he's lucky there weren't some better people around because they would have handled it themselves. And the only way to destroy that street violence is to take the thugs who engage in that violence and throw their in prison.
All right, police have identified 4 potential suspects so far. But one of the most disturbing parts of this, as I mentioned, is how many people just stood around, watched.
Yeah.
Not calling 911. What country? I can see what city. I know what state. What country are we living in? Joining me now is Ken Kober, president of Cincinnati's Fraternal Order of Police. And I appreciate you being here with us. And it's not to insult your city, but this is intolerable. It doesn't belong on any American street. It honestly doesn't belong in any civilized society. And I saw a quote by you, Ken, where you said, what you see in this video and the behavior around there is people that fear no repercussions. Tell me why they would fear no repercussions.
Cincinnati and Hamilton counties are really at a crossroads. What kind of city and county do we want to be? Because right now you have about half the judges that support law and order, and then you have half of them that just don't, that are being the cashless bail, the soft on crime. And this is a result of that. I mean, these people fear no consequences. And until that changes, unfortunately, we're going to see more things like this.
There's so many different, honestly, beyond the law and order element of this, Ken, and there is a law and order element of this. I know that at 911, they may have received one call during this when you can see there's dozens, if not hundreds of people around the incident. But there's also so many cultural implications going on here. I don't know. I don't know how you were raised. I can tell you this. Any situation, A, where a man hits a woman, or B, where 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 guys are ganging up on one, nobody involved in that is tough. Nobody involved in that is a man. And it says something rotten about any culture that produces individuals who think somehow this is tough.
Hey, Chloe.
People clearly have no morals.
How you doing?
They have no morals. They don't care about themselves. They don't care
Rick,
about
I
others.
became
And this
an
is certainly
official
a problem
business
that we're
owner
seeing time and time
today.
again. And it's something that is just disgusting. We saw the worst at Cincinnati.
Pause the craziness over in Cincinnati. These people are fucking nuts. Like, what's going on over there? And but yay, Chloe! All right, so you have the link ready. You gonna put out the link? Because you can put out the link here, and people could watch, and they'll see it here, and we can start shopping. Start shopping. I love shopping. Make sure you put, if you could, put Afterpay. If you could use Afterpay and as a shopping tool, I like using Afterpay because it breaks it down in payments. But okay, I will go live next week. Yay! Yay! I'll tell you, I'm gonna buy something. I'm gonna buy something. I will support Afterpay. Yeah, Afterpay is really good. If you could put that as part of like your payment, like a form of your payments, that's gonna be great. I'm gonna put. I will definitely put an order in. Oh man, yay! I'm so happy for you, Chloe. I really am. It's gonna go good, especially. Stay here and we'll push people to you. I'll push them to you, so that way you could get like a lot of energy, good energy, and good people to purchase from you. Have been so supportive. Yeah. It's exciting for me. I'm very excited for you. Like my mom's reaction was okay. Oh, thank you so much. Yay! This is gonna be so much fun. You're gonna do great. I know you are. It's just getting like in the beginning. It's gonna be like, but got to bring people, in. So we'll try as much as people I'm trying to get in to watch me here. We could put out a link. You can put it in the chat in the future, like for next week. Once it's ready, and that way we could get business started over that side and get your crystals from Chloe. Hell yeah, I like that. I'm gonna stop that Cincinnati crap because it's just making me mad. Because the black people, they so entitled, and real quick they want to run racism, and then they do all this craziness and start attacking white people and beating them up, and then and then they want to cry innocent. Oh, you're picking on us because we're black and we used to be slaves. Listen, honey, black people weren't the only slaves here in this country. There were white slaves, there were Spanish slaves, there were Indian slaves, there were all types of slaves from all around the world. It was just not the black people. So don't try to take all the credit. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're trying to do. They trying to control the narrative and cling on to something that they think that they believe that is true, that they're not even being told the truth. It's like it's ridiculous. You know, this world needs an enema, and I am rooting for the fucking asteroid. I want the asteroid to hit us. I want it to fucking fuck everything up and just blow everything up at the same time, so we all die at the same time. That would be a great thing to happen, because like we don't deserve it. We don't deserve Earth. Like, example, you know, with that fight, I saw a video. Like, let me see if I have it. Let me see if I have it. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was in a short. To be honest with you, I think it was in the shorts. Let me see my on the shorts, because I know I saw the fight and I was like, "What is going on?" Like, yeah, here it is. Okay, so I got the video here on the shorts. It is disturbing, so viewers' discretion is advised. So we're gonna go. Let me come over here. Select this tab. Let's make it big here. And let's change the setting here. And we're going to see this fight. This is what happened at Cincinnati Saturday night, but the media covered it up. And now we're getting the news of what happened on Saturday night after a jazz festival, jazz concert. So please, this is a warning right now. Viewer discretion is advised. Okay, I'm going to start the video. That guy in the red, he needs to go to prison. The one in the red right there, look. Oh, he punched him hard in the head. All these people should be in jail.
My boy drunk.
That's not drunk. He just got kicked in the head and punched in the head. Like, what is going on here? I'm telling you, the world is not a safe place anymore. It's just never been a safe place. It's just getting a lot worse. A lot worse. Let's go ahead and see. I guess there was a news conference on this. Let's check this out here.
Based on the body cam footage that I've watched, that response time is completely acceptable because the downtown area still had traffic congestion from all of the events.
Oh, she's going to protect her people, of course. She's going to protect the cops.
Upon arrival, the fight was over with.
Oh, of course it was, you dummy.
The fight was over with when the officers arrived.
Yeah, no officers in downtown.
And the majority of the participants were gone.
Yeah, you weren't doing your job.
The officers did exactly what they are trained to do.
Oh, stupid.
They gathered information from the victims that were still at the scene to complete an offense report.
Oh, a report. Great.
I will tell you, at this time, we have victims and suspects identified, and we have charged 5 people in this offense. I'm not going to release that information to you.
Of course not.
I will say, if individuals were down there and participated in this event, it would be in their best interest to come turn themselves in at one of our police
you want
districts.
them to turn themselves in so you don't have to do the
5 we
job.
have charged and anticipate more. Let me be clear. Anyone anyone
I love deers.
who put their hands on another individual during this incident in an attempt to cause harm
Girl, you're not
will
putting
face
nobody.
consequences.
You are not putting fear to
I
nobody.
don't care which side of the incident or the fight they were on.
Doesn't
If they
matter.
place their
Your
hands
talk
on
means
somebody
nothing.
in an attempt to cause harm, that is unacceptable.
Girl, you need to
This
change
is
your hair.
still an open investigation,
That hair, that color is not
and
matching.
all potential charges are being investigated for everyone involved.
Yeah.
All investigative tools and techniques are on the table.
Okay, she's just full of shit. Let me just cut her off there because she has the wrong hairdo. Anyways, she's just. That's what you call incompetent police officer. Very incompetent. Wouldn't you think a weekend? You know how it's hyped on the weekend. You wouldn't have any officers in downtown Cincinnati. So she's claiming that there was no officers in Cincinnati, and that when the calls came in, they were responding to the calls. And since the traffic was so heavy, it took them a while. But they got there in a respectable time. But yet everything was scattered and dissolved. But the witnesses that were there put in these reports and so forth, and they so happened to be able to arrest 5 individuals. From what I saw in that video, I saw a lot more than 5. I was like, right now, this is the guy who punched the lady in the face and knocked her out. All the ones that were fighting all around, the guy with the red shirt. Like, there's so many. It's ridiculous. Just fucking ridiculous. Yeah, 7. It's just, oh man, I don't know what's happening. It seems. Let's go to this other story here. This is they used to call this a different name. I remember it used to be the N-word knock. Remember the N-word knock? You can't say the N-word anymore because it's forbidden. But back in the days, they used to say the word all the time. Now they call it, what they call it now? They call it door kick challenge. Door kick challenge, right? Back in the days, they didn't call that door kick challenge. They used to call it the N-word knock. The N-word with the hard R knock. That's what that used to be called. Let's check out the story real quick.
For you, take a look at this. It's a viral trend that started on TikTok and ended with some kids in handcuffs. So what's going on right here? It's the new about ding dong ditching happening. This is a whole new trend that is on TikTok and social media. So let's go now to Atlanta, and that's where we find Elliot with what police are saying about this trend here.
Yeah, well,
Door
Mike,
kick
it's
challenge.
called the door kick challenge,
That's
and it's
not what they used to
exactly
call
what
it back in the
sounds
days.
like, okay? The idea is to kick someone's door in, get it on video, and then post it on TikTok or Instagram. And we're told that kids are doing all of this just to get likes and clicks on social media.
Could face some serious consequences,
They can
not
lose
just
their
by the
life.
law, but also by people who meet a home is being broken into. They may have a weapon on the other side of the door. They may come out and chase them and try to to stop them and to hold them. And things can go terribly wrong when all those things happen.
So what started as a TikTok trend into a big saying, quote, the door kicking challenge is a surefire way to get locked up with a felony, or even worse, shot or killed. Now, dozens of police departments around the U.S. have issued warnings about the TikTok trend here in recent weeks, and police are asking parents to sit their kids down and talk to them about the dangers of this trend. Mike.
Yeah, you know what? We need to get the trends going for charity again. You know, the ice bucket challenge; those were good ones. Not this door kicking
No.
stuff here.
Wait a minute. I got something to say. You know how you stop all this bullshit? I said it in my earlier show today. How you stop all this craziness? Bring back the draft. Bring back the draft. Bring all these minors, all these like 18 to 24, 27, bring them all in and put them at a boot camp. Put them, train them for war, keep them there for 4 years. You know, the government could pay for it and put them all out there and train out there together. And yeah, they could learn how to be more respectful and actually fight for our country instead of fighting against each other and killing each other. You know, all these kids are just out of hand, and I believe bring back boot camp, bring back these disciplinary measures, because they're gonna run. It's not gonna get better. If they bring back the draft, it would bring so much fear into these kids that they would shape up, because they really wouldn't want to go. And I just feel like all these kids acting up and acting crazy. If Russia acts wild and wants to start World War III, guess what? We are going to have a draft. And you see all these delinquents out there causing a ruckus. Yeah, we're going to get them in boot camps and train them and send them to the front line, you know, fight for our country. You know, that's what's going to happen. It's just ridiculous times right now, man. It's just wild. Let's go to the next story here. Let's move it along, because all these stories are getting me agitated. I'm getting agitated. So let's go to the next story.
Right now, about a breaking news event that's taking place in Palm Beach County, Florida, as a small plane has crashed. You can see just some of these images on the ground at High Ridge Road. Several people were injured in a small plane crash. You can see different individuals there on the ground. Citizens concerned about this. And what we know at this point is the Fire and Rescue of Palm Beach County responded Monday to Lake Osborne Drive after a crash involving a small plane and a car. Upon arrival, crews found that the aircraft had skimmed the top of a Honda Civic. 2 people were on board the plane, 5 inside the car at the time of the crash. All 7 individuals transported to local hospitals. You can see them zooming in on this plane, now upside down on the side of this clearly residential kind of road. You can see the plane off to the left. I'm not sure where the Honda Civic is actually located in between some of this caution tape, but the plane is just off to the left, and 2 individuals they are reporting were on this plane at the time of it. I don't believe it's too far away from a local small airport there in the area, as this just happening here. It's about 6 o'clock local time on the ground in Palm Beach County. But these are just images we are gathering. Your discretion is advised. Sometimes these images can be graphic depending on some of the injuries. You can imagine the plane moving at a high rate of speed. Not exactly sure. And they might be zooming in on a palm tree that might have been cut down due to this plane flying very low to the ground. We do know, reporting initially, that the aircraft had skimmed the top of a Honda Civic. Don't know if it was trying to land or take off. Not exactly sure what was going on in this mode, but you can see them getting just some different B-roll shots. I do want to take you back out to
B-roll
some of these images that we were just gathering. And this is not going to be live. This is just from mere moments ago, but this was the scene of this crash. You can see that plane upside down, almost broken in half. The tail hanging limply there on the ground. The wings still very much intact. But
plane.
2 people on the plane, 5 in the car, all 7 taken to local hospitals. So let's again, take you out live one more time as they are zooming in on different caution tape there on the ground on this area. But you can see the palm trees.
Okay, cut it short there because we already know the plane crashed and there were survivors. Nobody died. It's just very scary that something like that can happen, right? It's just so weird. So weird. Let me just keep moving along because I don't want to be here all night with all the stories because there's so much to go through. Let's go to the next story here.
If you've ever been approached by a salesperson at the mall, take a listen to this. It's a similar situation ended with a Hamden woman spending her entire life savings. She now wants to warn others about what happened and to reach out to the I-team to look into this business's sales practices. Your consumer investigative reporter Cassidy Williams joins us to explain what happened here. Cassidy.
Well, Stephanie, we found at least a half dozen stories of women who say they were pressured into spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars for skincare products at the same store at a local mall. And they say they found out too late that the store has a no return policy. Look through Cynthia Wilcox's storage unit. There's this one. Or browse through her trunk.
Yeah, I heard about the black fatigue.
For $147,000.
Was that $147,000?
What the hell?
Pretty much everything you had.
That was it. I'm wiped out completely. I have no money in my checking account, no money at all.
The purchases started in March of 2024. Wilcox was walking through the Danbury Mall when someone from the InterStem kiosk and store approached her and had her try some skincare products.
The product felt good. Whether I was looking better because of the product or because I was becoming more manic, I couldn't tell you.
Wilcox has bipolar disorder. She says she was experiencing a manic episode over the period of time she kept going back to IntroStem. Each time she went, she spent more money.
She started pushing more products and more devices on me.
The largest purchase, $72,318 after tax for an infrared sauna that now sits unused in her storage unit.
Are you kidding me?
Going literally out of my mind, right there in front of them. And I threw good money after bad and bought the spa.
In August 2024, Wilcox spent 2 weeks in Yale Psychiatric Hospital. When she got out, she realized what had happened, and she told her big sister, Katherine Hines.
And I met with her at a diner, and she was falling apart. She had crashed and realized what she'd done. When you're manic, you tend to spend a lot of money. You're king of the world.
Together, the sisters decided to try and get some of the money back, wanting to at least return the infrared spa. And that's when they learned when Wilcox signed her name, there was a clause saying no refunds and all sales are final.
They hand you a little device that's about this big. I was signing this little thing that I thought was the receipt that you sign when you say, yes, I spent this money. You know what I mean? I had no idea it's what they considered a contract.
The I-team has learned that, including Wilcox, there are 3 complaints filed about the Danbury Mall IntroStem kiosk and store with the Department of Consumer Protection. State investigators took these photos of the kiosk. One complaint is from a woman who says she was told she was signing a lifetime warranty, but turns out she was signing the same no refund policy for a skincare machine that cost more than $7,700.
What?
The third complaint is from a woman who says she was pressured into spending almost $3,000 on products and feels she was targeted for being a senior citizen. There was also a lawsuit filed against the store in 2023 by a woman who says she spent more than $5,000 on products she never opened and could not return. The judge ruled in the store's favor because, quote, the court has no authority to order the defendant to accept the return. Connecticut law says sellers can set any refund or exchange policy they choose, as long as the policy is posted somewhere in writing.
Sometimes, the salespeople could make verbal representations. That does not supersede what's in writing.
Brian Caffarelli is the commissioner for Connecticut's Department of Consumer Protection. He says the law puts the responsibility on the consumer to know what they are signing.
Most of these cases are just a misunderstanding or miscommunication. So simply not honoring a refund is not an unfair trade practice.
Caffarelli says if a customer feels wronged, he encourages them to file a complaint with his office. The DCP Complaint Center can act as a mediator between the consumer and the business. For one of the IntroStem complaints, the store agreed to give the customer a partial refund of $2,000.
What?
However, that's not what happened for the other 2 state complaints, where the store did not offer refunds and the state can't force them to. The owners of the Danbury Intrastem responded to the I-Team's questions with a statement that reads in part, "Our return policy is expressly set forth on all documents customers sign in connection with every purchase, including on purchase receipts, and customers also expressly acknowledge our return policy in connection with completing every sale. In addition, our return policy is posted on signs throughout the store. The reason for our return policy is simple. The nature of the products make it unsanitary for us to accept returns."
You just rub it up and down.
So Wilcox is left with all of the product and none of her money. And she wants to warn other women who simply go to the mall to take a walk.
It's a show. It's like a traveling salesman show.
Yeah, but you
know
shouldn't
what I
have
mean?
been suckered
odd,
into buying a
but it's real. And I don't think
$70,000
they should be
machine.
allowed to do this.
Now, the Danbury store statement goes on to say it is saddened to hear there may be customers who have concerns about their return policy. You can read their full statement on WFSB.
Yeah, but why are you selling her a
Now, as for
$70,000
Introstem
machine?
Corporate, they did not respond directly to our request for comment, but Introstem told the state after one of the complaints that all retail locations, including Danbury, are owned and operated by third-party independent resellers, and they cannot impose policies on independent resellers.
Oh, nah, this is gonna get
Channel 3
sneaky.
Eyewitness News.
Cassidy, thank you.
That's sneaky. That's very sneaky. How are you not gonna like have refunds and then you're gonna trick this lady, have her sign on this pad, right? It doesn't on the pad, it doesn't say, oh, no refunds, no nothing. You're just signing this pad, and then they'll print out the receipts and all that with your signature on it, right? But they won't give you the receipts to look at it. They'll put it in the bag, and then they'll send you off. And then when you come to find out, you spend almost $140,000. This lady has spent, and she's crazy. She's crazy. She's crazy. Anyhow, let's go to another. I'll tell you, it's gonna be wild, and it's only gonna get sadder now. We got some news about the boat that capsized. Actually, no, there was an accident. It was a sailboat that struck a barge, and it seems like 2 children died from this accident. Very, very, very sad news right now. Let's check it out.
This is 7 News at 4.
First at 4 o'clock, a tragic trip out on the water when a group of mostly children went overboard after a horrific hit. Hello and thank you for joining us. Summer camp tragedy. 2 children were killed after an adventure on the water ended with an all-out rescue mission.
The injured rushed to the hospital while 2 families are left heartbroken. 7's Faith Graham is live on Miami Beach with the latest. Faith?
Yes, and we now know that this was a deadly tragedy that left 2 people dead. Right now we're standing here along North Hibiscus Drive on Hibiscus Island. This is where the investigation is still ongoing.
I know where's that at.
And I do believe we have video from 7 Sky Force up above showing the scene that is still out there on the water on Biscayne Bay. Now, if you take a look there, I believe you can see what appears to be investigators on top of the massive barge that we now know struck the sailboat, leaving multiple children hurt. And we now know 2 of those children are dead.
Wow.
A race to rescue in Miami Beach after a sailboat sinks off the coast of Hibiscus Island.
It's going to be a working barge, and 5 went into the water, 2 came out.
The tragedy unfolded just after 11 Monday morning, when officials say a barge struck the sailboat in Biscayne Bay.
We've lived here 40 years. We've never seen anything like this.
On board were several children between the ages of 8 and 12, all receiving sailing lessons from the Miami Yacht Club.
The vessel was struck somehow that had 5 children on board and a
How the
Those
hell that
children then
happened?
ending up in the water. Within minutes, first responders from several agencies swarmed Hibiscus Island, working quickly to locate the kids from both up above and below.
I mean, the sound of the helicopters was like, they were so close. I knew something was wrong.
What we do know is that we had divers and swimmers in the boat from all agencies, all hands on deck to be able to get these children to the care they needed immediately.
Paramedics then seen frantically rushing around North Hibiscus Drive as 4 of the children were pulled from the water and placed onto stretchers.
3 of those children were taken to the Ryder Trauma Center in critical condition, and 1 was transported in stable condition.
The U.S. Coast Guard
No, I
saying
haven't
two
seen
of the
that.
children were
7.
pronounced dead upon arrival.
Sydney
Officials say
Sweeney
another
commercial?
child was
No.
evaluated but was not hurt. The camp counselor also doing okay.
The adult is stable. She did not go to the hospital. She's just obviously very shaken up about what happened.
Investigators later seen speaking to a man on the barge who appeared to be distraught. A young child on a nearby boat says she watched it all unfold.
The crane just completely destroyed the boat. The boat just went under, and I heard one girl shouting help from under the crane. It was super sad,
wow.
and it was super scary.
Those who live on Hibiscus Island now praying for the children involved.
Horrible, like really horrible. And I hope that, as we heard, some of them are in critical condition. So hopefully they're all okay.
And while the Miami Yacht Club confirms that these children were receiving sailing lessons there out on the water, there are still a lot of questions this afternoon. We're still waiting to learn more about who these children were, what these lessons entailed, and whether or not they were wearing life jackets. As of right now, we're told the U.S. Coast Guard is the lead on this investigation, which we can hear is still happening out there on the bay. As soon as we have more information, we'll bring it to you. But again, the latest information we're receiving this afternoon is that 2 of those children have died. Live in Miami Beach, Faith Graham, 7 News.
To the children.
All right, Faith, we now send things up to 7 Skyforce. Ralph Rayburn is live over this scene. Ralph, what can you see from there?
Not a whole lot has changed since earlier this morning when this incident occurred and through the noon hours there. You see Coast Guard representatives, or 3 of them right now, on the barge and on the tugboat that it was pushing that barge through this channel here right off of Hibiscus Island. They've been taking pictures. We had made attempts earlier to try to locate where the exactly that sailboat ended up. And if you look very, very closely right here, you're going to see a light spot in the water right there in the center of the screen. We believe that is where the sailboat rests at this hour. A number of people have been out here to do their inspections. They've been talking to the representatives from the barge company there, and they just continue their investigation. That's the only folks that are out here at this hour. That's our story. Here is Skyforce HD. I'm Ralph Rayburn reporting live.
That's interesting. We're gonna jump into that one story that you were just talking about, 7. I just brought it up here, so let's take a look at it.
Well, Sydney Sweeney is facing woke backlash as the face of American Eagle jeans. The superstar actress announced her latest partnership with the brand, launching a new campaign highlighting her, quote, great jeans. Take a look.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
But some on the left wasted no time attacking the advertisement and its tagline, saying that it's not about a pair of pants. It's actually racist. Salon Magazine writes, quote, the phrase, used in bold on billboards in Times Square in Las Vegas, was designed as a denim pun. But online, many saw something else. Great jeans, G-E-N-E-S, a phrase historically used to celebrate whiteness, thinness, and attractiveness. Others described the slogan as too close to master race propaganda and said it echoed eugenics-era language used to validate and promote the superiority of white
I need a
beauty.
joint. I need a joint.
Paris, I come to you first.
Yeah, look.
Young daughters, and we love fashion
I'm not high
together.
enough for
Are
this.
these schisms valid? Will it have impact?
I can tell you that in my household, we
Sounds
wouldn't
good.
even think of that. I have biracial children. I live with a white Jewish man. I mean, what I thought that I'd lived this long to be naive. But I also don't see everything through the prism of race. And I think you can find whatever it is you
Neither
think
do
you're
I.
looking for. And that's what I feel when I read about
Race
this.
is about
It's like, well, they wanted to see it this way, so they did. I'm more concerned about whether or not, there are enough women in ads, that just like I was about women in sports. There's certain things that really do occur to me immediately
Yeah,
in
start smoking,
advertising.
7.
That really didn't.
Start smoking.
And the counter often are saying, Lisa, is that, well, she's actually not that thin, the historically thin that's been unhealthy. She's curvy and natural. She's a biological woman. So finally, we're celebrating that. And that it has
Because she's
nothing to
biological
do
woman.
with what it might imply to some people.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney Sweeney's success in this ad campaign has nothing to do with race. It has to do about returning to traditional standards of beauty. And I guarantee the same people who find Sydney Sweeney attractive also think Halle Berry is hot and attractive, also think Jessica Alba is as well. This is about rejecting the Orwellian way of life that was shoved down our throats for 4 years under Joe Biden. You know, the war is peace, the freedom is slavery, the ignorance is strength. And I'll add, hairy armpits is attractive, right? Or attractive. So, you know, we were told for 4 years that like obesity is healthy, that Harry Styles wearing a dress on the cover of Vogue magazine, that's masculinity, that, you know, the Doug Emhoff's daughter with hairy armpits, that's a model, that's attractive, right? So I think what is happening now is American society going back to what we traditionally see as beauty, which is just women looking like women.
Yeah, the other question is that, was this purposeful, Rosanna? Because a lot of times driving controversy means driving attention. And so that drives up all of the eyesight and probably profits for American Eagle.
I don't know if it was something sinister with American Eagle. I don't know who was behind this ad campaign. Maybe it was some Gen Zer who didn't know the history. Right?
That's
it could just be they were having a little fun, a little pun on words. But the good part, on the brighter side, I always like to look on the bright side. The bright side is part of the money that is raised from these jeans will have a charity component. It will go to mental health and I believe a domestic abuse, center that helps women. So there is something good that comes all out of this, and we're talking about it.
Yeah.
We're talking about, not that Sydney Sweeney needs any more publicity. She's gotten our attention in more ways than one.
Mark, are we exhausted yet? Or I should rephrase it. When will we be exhausted by all of these attacks for everything? If everything is racist, isn't nothing?
I can't get over the hairy armpit stuff.
Sorry, Mark.
It was cool for a while, a couple years ago.
Just wanted to give you something to think about for the rest of the day.
And he hasn't thought about it
all week long. Here's the thing. It's funny they bring up eugenics. I'll show you how little they know about eugenics. Democrat Party, Planned Parenthood, pushed eugenics for 100 years. Woodrow Wilson, the great progressive president, supported eugenics. Eugenics was pushed and practiced in this country by the Democrat Party at the beginning of the last century and instituted against people who were mentally ill, physically disabled, and black people.
That's right.
That's the history of the Democrat Party. That's what they did. I'm happy to talk about eugenics. I don't know what the hell it has to do with genes, but there you go.
Wow.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-host Harris.
This is crazy. Wow. What is going? Let me see if they show this video yet.
Retired FBI guy James Agagliano. James, I believe.
Oh, there is a dead. Someone is dead. I guess it's the shooter's dead.
I'm not sure
cop
we've
shot.
confirmed that.
Looks like two cops got shot.
If it was, what does that tell you?
Well, Jesse, we are hearing two channels that it looks like AR style rifle. Looks like it had a 30-round magazine in it. Jesse, it just seems odd if the pictures that are floating around right now are confirmed that this was the shooter. This
they need to get away from it.
Like a targeted
because
attack.
it's just
if this
a
shooter
trap.
was set on a mass casualty situation, a mass shooter. There were so many targets of opportunity that appears that weren't taken. He went up to a particular floor. He obviously had some way to get into the building. He had to get past one armed officer there. And Jesse, to your the other folks that joined you, thank God for the NYPD. 36,000 police officers. They are the best of the best. Now, I got to caution everybody. This is going to be a long night. Even if the shooter acted alone, and we always presume that there were accomplices. We always presume that there are other people that might be associated. There might be some type of conspiracy. And we've got to make sure to get to the bottom of that first. But they're going to go through that building, and it's a difficult crisis site. It's a vertical building. It's not a horizontal platform. So they've got to work through every floor. And I'll just close with this. You know, there's been some discussion on what's being taught to civilians that you should do in a situation like this. And yes, it's nuanced, and yes, it's constantly tweaked, but run, hide, fight, and tell are what the FBI is teaching currently. And why is that? You want to get out of there as quickly as possible and get away. If you can't, and you can find cover, and that's not concealment, cover where you can put something between you and the bad guy, do that. And if it comes down to it and your life is on the line, obviously fight. But Jesse, the fourth and equally important is the tell part. Go to law enforcement, tell them what you saw, give as accurate a description as you can of the shooter or shooters, what they're wearing, what type of weapons, and where they're located.
So we're getting word from a Blackstone employee who says you do not need badge access to get up into the elevator. Once you're into the elevator, you can go to whatever floor you want. There is a chance this guy wasn't a disgruntled employee, former, current employee at all. I mean, this guy could have been a targeted killer and had a grudge based on pretty much anything. It could have been political. It could have been ideological.
Yeah, don't start doing that, Fox
We
News.
really, at this point, have no idea.
If you don't know,
the
don't
motivation
speculate.
of the gunman. What are the possibilities here?
So let's work through them right now. So you just defined at first an act of terror. We don't know it's that, but
Yeah,
generally speaking, we work from that perspective. We presume that and work backwards from that. Presidential Decision Directive 62 in 1998 gave the FBI purview over that. However, the front line of defense are the cops, the police officers, the local response, and that's what they're doing. Now, what is terrorism? That's somebody that has a political, ideological, or religious bent, and they want to further that by action of violence or threats of same. Could it be that? Sure. As you pointed out earlier, could it be workplace violence? Could this guy have had a beef or a grudge against another worker there? Yes. Now, would he be walking down 52nd Street with a long gun out exposed like that if he was going to do a targeted killing? It doesn't seem like it connects the dots. However, if he was there to cause mass casualties and kill as many people as possible, that's not what he appeared to do either. Could it be a love interest? Could it be a domestic? Could it be workplace violence? There's so many different things, but with or without a motive right now, police have got to make sure that no one else is involved in this. And if the shooter is deceased and is down, either by a self-inflicted gunshot wound or if law enforcement took him out, we've still got to go through the painstaking tactical resolution of ensuring that no one else is in that building and that no one else was involved with this guy.
Well, that's interesting what you said, because if he's casually strolling down in broad daylight, Midtown Manhattan, with a rifle on the side and a bulletproof vest, and he doesn't just open fire on everybody in the lobby, he takes out the security guy and goes right up to a certain floor. What can you rule out at that point?
Well, again, I mean, it seems, and again, we're trying to read the investigative tea leaves right now, and so much more is going to come out in the next hour, in the next few hours, and obviously by tomorrow morning, we'll have many, many more details here. But he's carrying a long gun. So if it's a long gun, if it's an AR-15 or an AR-style rifle, it shoots .556 ammunition. That type of ammunition, bulletproof vests don't stop that. Unless you've got some type of shock plate that's, level 4, it doesn't stop that. So you're carrying heavy armament. It looks like he had a 30-round magazine attached to it. If he's carrying heavy armaments like that, look, I mean, he drew a lot of attention to himself as he walked across the plaza, as he walked down the street.
Yeah, and we actually now just got cleared to use this photo. This was obtained by the New York Post. This is the suspect here. If we could put it up on the screen right now.
There you go.
So there he is.
Finally, they get to
very
use it.
casually dressed, holding the rifle.
Yeah, just
by
walking
his
with a
right
gun.
Side. It looks like he's wearing sunglasses.
Right there, an officer should have
Can't
pulled
really
up on
see
him
that
and
closely
drew
if
his weapon
he's
on him.
Middle Eastern, African American. It's really, really difficult to tell from this type of photo. Could we zoom in at all upstairs? We're going to work on that. I don't know if you could see this, James, but just your initial reaction to this alleged suspect.
The level of casualness with which he seems to be walking with a sense of purpose, but the fact that he has the long gun down at his side, making no effort at all to secrete it, to put it underneath of his jacket, to make any attempt to conceal it. It looks like he's set on what he's planning to do, and anybody that gets in his way, he's going to stop. But this does not appear to be a situation where it's a mass shooter just looking to kill as many people as possible. It definitely appears like he was going there with a sense of purpose. It's just odd that he did that he walked that way. But Jesse, as we know with many of these things, mental illness is part and parcel with many of these folks, whether they're terrorists or disgruntled employees or somebody that's hell-bent on hurting someone that's in their immediate family. Mental illness runs rife there. So, it's hard to say just looking at one still shot of him, but man, that is an odd look for somebody that was, trying to gain access into the building and appeared to be going to a certain floor to try to kill somebody.
Yeah, that's what would lead me to think that this was not some sort of terrorist intent on killing as many people as possible. Because if you have a gun like that and you're in Midtown and you want to create terror, I mean, you could do a lot more damage than he did, but he took it to a certain floor and only ended up wounding a few people, killing one. And so this seems much more personal than political. And this is just my gut, but this just looks to me more like a personal hit. And obviously this guy's
so then there's two dead,
screwed up in
the
the
shooter
head.
and maybe somebody else.
You can see it looks like he's kind of a light-skinned African-American guy, potentially Middle Eastern. You can't really tell. Does the gun look like it's kind of got a desert camouflage vibe to it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell.
Click here to subscribe.
It really
to the
does
Fox
look
News.
camouflaged. So, very weird times we're living in. Very, very weird times. I don't know what to say, man. It just keeps getting bizarre. Let's go to let me see. I got a story from this morning that I want to go to, but not right now, which is the casino shooting in Reno, Nevada. You know what? Yeah, let's go to it because I did talk about this one this morning. So this is a news conference based on this I would say my midday show that I did. I talked about this this story here. So this is a follow up to that story.
Thank you everybody for being here. Myself and my colleagues are here to provide you an update about this morning's critical incident. At this point in time, we will be providing several different statements from different members of our team that are here. However, we will not be taking questions. At this time, it is an active and ongoing investigation. I want to start with my deepest condolences to the victims and their families, as well as to our entire community. Tragedies like this are horrific for any community to endure, not just for the victims, the first responders, and the people who are there, but for everyone who calls our community home. Violence is not acceptable, especially in our public spaces. Everyone has the right to be safe here, and we are committed to ensuring the safety in our city. I want to be clear, the suspect is to blame for this incident. His actions is responsible for the tragedies that he created. This morning at 7:25, Reno police officers responded to the Grand Sierra Resort on the report of an active shooter. Within 2.5 minutes, our PD officers arrived on
Tells the internet.
The suspect confronted these responding officers with a firearm, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. The bravery and rapid response by our officers stopped the suspect's rampage on innocent victims, which definitely saved lives and prevented additional people from being victimized. Officers and personnel from the GSR provided medical aid to the victims until Reno Fire Department and REMDA arrived on scene. The quick response by these skilled medical professionals ensured immediate treatment and transportation without hesitation to local hospitals. During the incident, one officer sustained minor injuries, most likely from glass fragments. This was the only physical injury our officers received during the incident. Officers, deputies from the Reno Police Department, Washoe County Sheriff's Office, Nevada Highway Patrol, Nevada State Police, Nevada Parole and Probation, Sparks Police, and several federal agencies responded to the scene. I cannot thank our first responders and GSNR personnel enough for their rapid response and help in ensuring the victims of this tragedy received instantaneous help. The Sparks Police Department will be the primary investigating agency for the officer-involved shooting and the active shooter investigation. And this is part of our... I would now like to introduce Chief Crawford with the Sparks Police Department to provide more details about the investigation.
Good afternoon. I will provide you information about this incident that is known at this time. The unidentified male suspect was observed walking onto the parking lot of the GSR from the north part of the property. The suspect continued walking on foot to the valet area of the GSR. Once at valet, the suspect produced a handgun and pointed it at a group of victims. The suspect's firearm malfunctioned. However, he was able to make it operable. Once operable, the suspect fired multiple times at the group of victims at valet. In total, 5 people in the valet area sustained gunshot wounds, and 1 victim was pronounced deceased on scene. 4 other victims were transported to a local area hospital. Of those 4 victims, 1 was declared deceased at the hospital, 2 victims remain in critical condition, and 1 has been released from the hospital. It was later determined that the suspect had multiple firearm magazines with him at the time of the shootings. The suspect then fled back north through the parking lot, at which time a GSR security officer located the suspect in the parking lot, and the suspect opened fire on the security guard. The security officer returned fire at the suspect. The suspect then continued fleeing north through the parking lot. Another victim was driving through the parking lot, and the suspect opened fire on this person, striking the victim. That victim was pronounced deceased on the scene. Reno police officers arrived on scene and located the suspect, where he fired upon officers, striking a patrol vehicle. An officer-involved shooting then occurred. Multiple officers from the Reno Police Department discharged their firearms, striking the suspect. Where he remains in critical condition. In total, 6 victims were shot. 3 of them are now deceased, 2 remain in critical condition, and 1 was released. At this time, we have no reason to believe there is a connection between any of the victims and the suspect, and we have no known motive by the suspect. Our condolences to all persons involved in this tragic incident, especially to the family members of the deceased. The Sparks Police Department is lead on the investigation and will be assisted by the Washington County Sheriff's Office. This is an active investigation. Any new information related to the investigation will be released by the Sparks Police Department through written communication when possible. And we will bring up Reno Mayor Hillary Sheeby.
On behalf of the city of Reno, we want to sincerely express our condolences, our heartfelt prayers to everyone that has been impacted in this situation, especially friends, family, and loved ones. That is really important to stay focused on in times of severe tragedy. I want to say thank you so much to our first responders. As you could hear from the comments from Chief Crawford and Chief Nance, there was incredible swift action that took place, and it apprehended this individual from going into the building. That is really, really remarkable. I want to say thank you so much to all of you. And we're so fortunate to have all the jurisdictions that were there hand in hand working with each other. I want to say thank you to my city manager's department, J.W. Hodge, Jackie Bryant.
Okay, I don't know.
Chief Crawford, thank you.
All they doing is thanking each other. We know 3 got killed and so forth. I don't think that's me. That's on them over there. And I'm not going to sit through a whole program of it blanking out like that. But I wanted to see this one next, which is here, bizarre claims made by Michigan stabbing suspect. Okay, let's watch that one.
All right, welcome back into
Live now from Fox, I'm Andy Mack. Let's quickly take you back up to Traverse City, Michigan. The arraignment for the man in the stabbing spree at the Walmart over the weekend. Let's listen into this here on Live now from Fox and pull up the audio if we can.
22. I don't know if that's still in effect or not. My guess is it is not. But, he likely did a deferral, and it's no longer under an order. But again, I don't have the lien, so I don't know that for sure. Sure, everyone else has it available other than the defense. So, contrary to the statement in the praxis, 6.106, the court's not required to essentially give a 10% or cash surety bond. I believe that it is required for the court to set a bond. Subparagraphs 1A and 1B do not apply here, as we don't have a defendant charged with treason, murder, or violent felony. And at the time, he was not on probation, parole, or release for another violent felony, nor is this a CSC or not robbery or kidnapping. So we would ask the court to set an appropriate cash or surety bond. Thank you.
What? No.
So the court is very concerned about the allegations in this complaint. Certainly is one of the most heinous accusations from an individual that's been before this court in 30-some years.
Well, the tobacco, y'all like have the tobacco company and you're selling cigarettes with fiberglass and chemicals in them just to kill off the population, and you can't really accuse me of anything if you're doing that, so.
What?
So I'm going to mute you for right now because I need to let you know what my decision is with regard to bond. Mr. Gilly, your bond is going to be a $100,000 cash or surety bond.
No.
Conditions on the bond are that you
No
may not
bond.
use nor possess any alcohol, any illegal substance, or any controlled substance, including marijuana, any mind or mood altering substances, or any non-prescribed medication. You would submit to 4 times per month urine screens. You would submit to discretionary PBTs and discretionary urine screens whenever requested by a police officer or any court personnel, so you may not refuse. You may not use nor possess any weapons of any sort, nor use any object as a weapon. You will have no threatening, intimidating, harassing, or violent behavior towards any person. You'll be respectful of all court employees and care providers during the course of your case. You may not return to any Walmart. You should hear from your court-appointed attorney by the 1st of next week. And once again, your preliminary examination will be August 12th. Ms. Mistley, do you have anything further?
I do not. Thank you.
And Ms. Muggenberg?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. So for right now, Mr. Gilly, you are all set. We will see you on August 12th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, just listening in there. That was August 12th. Let's just continue to listen back in, see if we have any more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, just listening in there to the arraignment there for the man accused in the stabbing at a Traverse City Walmart that injured 11 people, facing charges of terrorism, but also assault there. And you heard comments from the suspect, Bradford Gilly, as the next hearing will be taking place on the 12th of August. They did set a $10,000 or $100,000 bond, but
There
some
should be no
conditions on
bond.
that in terms of no alcohol, no weapons, and he cannot step foot inside of a Walmart.
How is that
if he
going to
does
prevent
meet those
another crime from
requirements to get
happening
out
if he
on
does bails
bond?
out?
So some developments there that we're following here closely on Live Now from Fox following that incident, the tragedy there that unfolded. We were learning some of the severity of this as different individuals, citizens, as well as employees were injured as police responded very, very quickly to that scene in northern Michigan on Saturday. I'm Andy Mack here on Live Now from Fox. We're back.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. How are they going to give him $100,000 bond? He could just bond out with $10,000. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. The system is just really screwed up. Michigan is it's always been screwed up. Um, let's go to something maybe to lighten us up. We need some lighting up. So I think this will be a good one to lighten up. It's it's an interesting report. It's from Jason A. And he talking about nuts. Seven, you ready for this? This is nuts right here. This is real nuts. This is so nutty that yeah, gotta watch. I just cracked myself up. Oh no!
I stumbled upon quite a pretty big situation that has been going on in France, in that it has gotten so big that, yes, Macron has been tasked now with going out to the public and trying to dissuade them from believing that his wife, Brigitte Macron, was actually born a man.
Now, Candace Owens has been making the allegations for more than a year on X posts. Things like Brigitte Macron was born a man. Brigitte Macron was born Jean-Michel Tourneau. He lived as a man for about 30 years before transitioning, accusing Brigitte of rape. And, quote, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact Brigitte Macron is in fact a man. Well, now, whatever reputation that is going to be tested.
You like
the
that,
French president
that
and
switch
First
on.
Lady have launched a defamation lawsuit in the US state of
For
Delaware.
Brigitte's nuts.
They've clearly had enough of years of conspiracy theories on the edge of the internet and French society that have almost been mainstreamed by Owens.
President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte are suing Candace Owens for claiming that Brigitte is secretly a man who transitioned or identifies as a woman. Kinsey, this story is wild.
It is. Candace appears unfazed by the situation, with a source telling TMZ she has no intention of staying silent. In fact, she's reportedly directly invited the Macrons to challenge her statements on her podcast. You know, as background, Brigitte Macron filed a defamation suit in 2021 against two influencers who claimed she was born male. Although the court initially ruled in her favor and ordered compensation, the Paris Court of Appeals overturned that decision this month. It's evident this is one of the Macrons. It remains deeply emotional when it comes to them. They remain deeply emotional about it, and they're invested in this.
I think Discovery is going to be fascinating, and just the entire relationship between Brigitte and Emmanuel, never mind the genders, to me is highly questionable, because she met him when she was, I think, 39. She was a teacher. He was a 15-year-old student. Now, that in itself is just troubling, but it's kind of never really talked about in any sort of critical way.
This was 3 years of hard work. And what they determined was that Brigitte Macron did not exist for the first 30 years of her life. Listen to what I'm saying to you. There is no proof that this human being existed for 30 years. It's a very easy thing to debunk, guys. Okay, very easy thing to debunk. If somebody came at me and said, Candace Owens, you did not exist for the first 30 years, I'd be like, what are you creating? Here's my high school yearbook. Here's my middle school yearbook. Here's me and the homies standing outside with too thin eyebrows because that was the style when I was in high school. Here's me, a picture of me cheerleading. Here's me when I played the flute for 6 months. Here's me and my sisters. It's such a nonsense. Such a nonsense that I would instead send out people to call it crazy without giving them 30 years worth of proof to debunk it. Let's not forget, Brigitte Macron also has 3 kids. I can show you photos of me pregnant. Oh, here's me in the hospital when we had our first child. They're not doing any of that. And today I have been sued by the first lady man of France. And I got to tell you, it is getting more intense out there. I think actually it's even going international. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, I'm pretty sure him and his husband Brigitte are going to come for my life.
Candace Owens is a 36-year-old who dropped out of journalism at university, but now has just shy of 4.5 million subscribers on YouTube, nearly 7 million followers on X. She previously worked for conservative groups and outlets like Turning Point and Daily Wire. Some of her previous rumours and theories have focused on COVID vaccines, the Holocaust, and the moon landings. But in recent times, she has really latched on to the Macrons and the rumours and innuendo about their relationship and past, creating an 8-part YouTube series and podcast called Becoming Brigitte, where she outlined her theories on the French First Lady. Owens has also claimed Macron was chosen to be president by a CIA mind control program. The Macrons have always been somewhat of a curiosity at the very least. He was a 15-year-old student. She was his 39-year-old teacher when they met. Her daughter was in Emmanuel's class. Monsieur Macron rising to become French president at the age of 39.
Politicians, the Macrons, they're used to having everything thrown at them. Why did they decide on this occasion this had to be litigated and therefore into the full glare of publicity?
Of course. Thanks for having me, Richard. The Macrons, just like any other person, have a reputation and they have a right to their reputation. And this was not in any way their first choice, was to have to bring this claim. For the better part of 7 months, they have tried to get Candace Owens to acknowledge the facts and evidence proving that her claims are wrong and to engage constructively with the truth. And each time she has mocked them and she has repeated and doubled down on her false claims. And I would say also, these types of false statements become a cancer, right? They metastasize into other media outlets, and pretty soon it becomes an accepted part of the narrative. And the president and Mrs. Macron had enough. This is somebody who has put herself, with Candace Owens, has put herself at the epicenter of this lie here in the United States, and they feel it's important to hold her accountable.
Don't you feel that you're just going to give it more oxygen? And yes, you know, eventually the Macrons may prevail in cases, but there'll be depositions, there'll be witness statements. They're going to have to, I mean, you know, what do you do if suddenly it goes to trial, which it probably won't do, but if it goes to trial and Owens calls the Macrons?
Well, you know, look, the fact that they're willing to undergo that process that you just described conveys volumes about how serious they are about this and how important it is to them to stand up to this.
Calling the lawsuit a desperate PR strategy. I am floored. Are you floored? Because this is just goofy. You are officially a very goofy man, Brigitte. But I got to give it to you. You've definitely got balls. Fire everybody around you. And I mean literally everyone around you who told you that this was a good idea, that this was a very good idea for you to be the first sitting first lady of a country to file a lawsuit against a journalist of another country.
I think that President Macron is going to have a very difficult time with this libel suit. And the reason for that is really simple. Under US law, public officials are required to prove actual malice, knowledge of falsity, reckless disregard for the truth. In his lengthy complaint, he has certainly alleged that on the part of this podcaster, but I think he's also probably not giving enough deference to the fact that courts in the United States grant broad discretion to individuals to comment on public officials. I think that Mr. Clare's complaint that he's prepared on behalf of Macron spends a lot of time talking about the motivation of this podcaster.
Other than a cease and desist, are they seeking large damages? Are they seeking, as we've seen in other cases, essentially the closure of her company and her podcast and the like?
So this is a claim for monetary damages in the United States. A claim for defamation only can recover defamation damages, so damages to reputation, economic harm, and the like, and we'll come forward to prove those things at trial. But we also hope to set the record straight. We're going to have a public trial. The evidence is going to be presented, and this crazy conspiracy narrative is going to be put to rest for once and for all.
You do realize if this comes to trial, it will be a circus, the like of which we've never seen before.
Certainly understand that. We're no stranger to that. When our firm took on Dominion, our firm represented Dominion Voting Systems in the case against Fox News a few years ago. Same courtroom, same courthouse, same media circus, and so we stand ready to stand shoulder to shoulder with President and Mrs. Macron as they go through that.
Tom, please come as this goes through, and as much as you can legally. Let's talk more about it in the future. We do a lot of things on law and important things like that. I'm grateful for you, sir, tonight. Thank you.
Wow, this is a weird. I'm telling you, the dude right now looks like a lady, and there's evidence. Candace Owens wouldn't just be saying just out of. She's not going to ruin her career and her livelihood if she didn't have facts. She has the facts. She knows. Bridget it's a man, baby. They're gonna go like this to her. They're gonna go, Bridget, what is this, Bridget? What's this hanging here, Bridget? They're gonna have to examine her. They're gonna have to hey, we gotta check. We have to thoroughly check. We gotta take some blood work and determine what sex you are. It has come to that. It has come to that. Let's take a look at a next story. Actually got. Let me see. I got two we could watch real quick. Let me see. Which is this one? And this one is okay. This is Cash Jordan. It's an ICE blocks highway, deports entire armada of immigrants drivers. Okay, that sounds interesting. Let's see that report. After this one is going to be Tyson's, and I'm waiting for him to. It's about to upload soon. I'm waiting for the message of a new video he puts up every evening. So, let's check out Cash Jordan first.
Highways are now a war zone as migrants battle ICE. Whoa, look at that. Doors popping open. Got people getting out. 1, 2, 3. Police driving over the curb. Oh, my goodness. What? This is insane. Ooh, got him. What? This is crazy.
Look at this
whole
running.
street, both sides of the road. Just
Oh,
a war
Lord.
zone. How many people got arrested here? That's a lot. 7 people. But
Holy
before we
smokes.
get into some even wilder police chases that include deployed airbags, semis full of illegals, and even a dump truck driven by smugglers,
What?
listen to this illegal immigrant with no license driving a possibly stolen car try and sweet talk police.
Hey.
It does not go well.
I'm not Police Department. The reason I'm stopping you is because your tag's showing there's no insurance on this vehicle.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have insurance on it?
That's a problem.
Do you have a driver's license from anywhere in America?
It's in process.
But you don't have one right now.
No, but I
Okay.
No license.
Okay. But you don't have a license yet.
No, but I got it in process.
It's just in process.
But this is yeah.
Okay. Hang tight for me, okay? Hey, this is Officer Allen Dalton Police Department. How you doing today?
Now they're calling the insurance to
Doing
find
well.
out if
I
it's
have
even
a vehicle
insured.
pulled over and the tag's showing no insurance, and I'm just trying to see.
Yeah, she has insurance.
Oh,
Okay, that's good.
82.
That's her.
It's better than
Yeah,
no
yeah, she
insurance
has
and no
insurance.
license. But now watch what happens.
You're gonna have to go to jail because you don't have a license.
Why no?
You-
This is I got my
Yeah. So you're driving with an unlicensed. You don't have a license.
yes, but every time I got it this.
Yeah. This doesn't count. This means nothing. This international driver's license means nothing.
Gotta go to jail.
You have to have a license to drive. You're unlicensed. You have a Georgia ID, but you're not licensed.
Yeah, it's in process.
Yeah, but you can't drive until the process is completed.
This is my license.
Yeah, no, this international driver's license, I don't know where you paid for it, but it doesn't count. It doesn't mean anything.
Did you hear that? He said, I don't know where you paid for this inactive driver's license, but it doesn't mean anything. That means she bought a fake ID and is now driving around with it in a car that could be stolen. But speaking of being in violation of the law, look at this semi going the wrong way. That is unbelievable. Talk about a red flag. And apparently people in the country illegally are inside this vehicle right here. Look at this thing. That is just unbelievable.
So dangerous.
On the shoulder on the.
How are they going to get this guy off the road?
We're going over 80 miles an hour.
This is crazy. Oh, look, now he's getting on the right road. They're trying to do a spike strip. You can't use a vehicle pit maneuver on something this big if the officer wants to make it.
You got to blow the tires.
Oh, just getting out. Making a tight turn. What's going to happen here? He's off road.
All right, we're turning into some ranch road.
They're going to bail.
He's stuck. He's bailing out. He's bailing out.
Oh. How many people are in this car? Oh, look, you can see them running away here in the dust. Got someone getting out of the passenger
on the other side. More people are running.
Got him. Oh, and there's more people in there.
Oh
There's
my
like
God,
10
how many
people in this
people?
thing. Well, what? It's crazy.
What?
Wow, this is a big guy, man.
So where are you headed to right now? San Antonio. San Antonio?
Can I make sure? Can you guys make sure my family, my mom was here?
We'll do everything right now, man. All right, just sit right there.
Guy's going to jail for a long time. Wow. How many people we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the guy who was smuggling them. He might be looking at 20 years, 30 years in prison for all those people. But instead of driving something suspicious like a semi, what if you get yourself a moving van like what we see right here on the screen? Look at the officer looking underneath it. He knows something's up.
Come on out. The registration's also expired.
Registration's out.
Let's go, partner, with the highway patrol. Come on back to the back of the truck. I'll show you what the reason for the stop was, okay? You a mover or is it? Okay. Where y'all coming from?
I'm going to Del Rio to pick up and then going back to La Prairie to pick up and then shooting out to Austin.
What are you picking up?
Good question.
Freight.
Freight?
Pallets.
Going to Del Rio to pick it up. So you're empty right now?
Yeah,
okay, all right. So you don't have, this is a big traffic corridor, human smuggling and all that. You don't have none of that stuff in there, do you?
I've never been down here.
Oh, first time?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I don't know if you see all the border patrol and all the highway patrol all up and down the road. You don't have none of that stuff in here, do you? No. All right. Would you consent to just opening it up and showing us what's back there?
Sure.
I appreciate you. Let's do that right quick. We'll knock that out and I'll get you identified. Make sure you're carrying your license with you in the future, okay?
Here we go. What do you think's in there?
Oh, man, no good. All right, go ahead and place your hands behind your back for me.
Wow.
Oh, man.
There's a whole
good.
bunch of people lying down there. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but you'll see them in a second.
Remember Men in Black? I would have thrown them back.
Now they're going to go inside the truck. Oh, look at that. Whole bunch of people in there. That's over 10 people easily. And here they come, coming out of the vehicle. Apparently, these smugglers, they get charged with an additional count of smuggling for each person in their care. But what about driving a less suspicious-looking vehicle? Like, I don't know, let's say a relatively new-looking pickup truck. Oh, doors are popping open. Oh, guns drawn. Ooh. What's going to happen? Oh, they're screaming at the car. Who's inside this thing?
Get in. Driver, give me the keys.
Oh, they're keeping everybody in the car because they don't want them to make a break for it. Interesting. That's a brand new truck. Smuggling must pay well.
No mueve.
Oh.
Manos arriba.
These guys just crossed the border. Look at them.
Yeah, I don't. One. Let me get back there. 2, 3, 4,
Man.
5. You see, Wooly?
That's crazy. And now look inside the bed. Even more people.
No way. More people? Oh, you see?
Sam.
This is crazy.
This is so dangerous. Any of these people could be armed.
This is
And
nuts.
what if they got in an accident? Nobody's belted in. Everybody's at risk here. None of this is good for America. Oh, look, this woman, she could be with a child. Look at that, man. There's a lot of people in this car. But as we're learning today, the problem with cars is they don't hold enough people. And this dump truck you see right here on the screen, apparently it's got over 80 individuals in it who were brought into the country illegally.
No way.
Oof.
There's about 40 or 50. There's about 30.
Total ended up being 84.
84.
Just making sure his camera's clean. Look at this. This is crazy.
Are you kidding me?
Insane. And you've got to think to yourself, if the person smuggling these people in is using this vehicle to do it, if they've already done this a few times and gotten paid tens of thousands of dollars, this bust right here, although we're seeing it, it might not be the first time something like this has successfully been pulled off. Look at this.
Oh my goodness.
Insane. This is what happens when you have a border that's open and when you encourage illegal immigration. But sometimes when people get stopped, they've got a plan to evade law enforcement. And you're going to see what that plan looks like when this white SUV gets pulled over and people try and escape. Going over the median. Twice, both tires, and here we go. Doors open. Oh, running.
Oh,
look, he pushed him back inside the vehicle. That's crazy. 1, 2,
oh my
3,
God,
4
no, I'm
people
running.
running across the median. That is crazy.
Look how they're going.
Got this guy under arrest. People think if they scatter in all directions, they're going to get away, but that's not how it works. When Border Patrol's got you surrounded. Look at this guy, Curtis Allen White. I wonder how many times he smuggled people in. He's an American. That's who these cartels and gangs are recruiting to do their dirty work most of the time. But perhaps most frighteningly, sometimes these chases do not end with the vehicle in one piece. Look at the front of this thing's already messed up.
Oh.
Border Patrol's after him.
Trail 708 Del Rio. We're heading back westbound 1080.
Guy's not going to get away. That car's too heavy. Got too many people inside of it.
Yeah.
Oh, made a little distance here between the officer, but it's not going to matter.
Del Rio, they're forcing vehicles off the road, opposite lane.
Look, they got police ahead of them right here waiting for them on the side of the road and over here on the median. Oh, another turn.
Wow,
they got this guy surrounded.
Yeah, that was a nice turn.
Here. See if we can catch him. Yep.
U-turn eastbound.
Holy shit, that was a nice turn.
Sycamore Creek Bridge right now.
Apparently, they reach speeds of over 120 miles an hour in this chase.
Oh, Lord. All those people inside the car? I wonder how many people are in this car.
Which, when you think to yourself that nobody inside that vehicle is strapped in, is pretty wild. And now they're going into a Border Patrol checkpoint. Look at this. The car went in there. You see all that dust? There was an accident. Thankfully, everyone's getting out of the car.
Underground, now!
And now they're getting placed under arrest. Look inside the vehicle. Airbags went off. People are very fortunate things weren't worse. That is unbelievable. And to think that they're not just putting themselves at risk when they do this. The officers are at risk. The general public is at risk. This whole thing, our roads being infested with crime like this, it's dangerous for everybody trying to go about their lives. And I don't know how people in favor of illegal immigration can defend any of this, not just the smugglers who are making money transporting people through our country in an unsafe manner, but also the people who come here and have no regard for how our traffic safety systems in this country work. You have to have a license. You've got to have the right license plate. You've got to have insurance. And we've got thousands of people driving around on our roads every single day in total violation, who may not even be safely capable of operating a motor vehicle. All of this is bad news. What do you think about this? Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.
It's definitely incredible. this country is it's bad. It's really really bad out there. It's the Wild Wild West. It's only gonna get worse. It's not gonna get any better. So let me follow up. I got two Tyson De La Cruz just uploaded now. So let's watch one that I have opened of his, and then we'll watch the second one right after. So let me open this tab here. Let me click here, and let's watch this.
The United States and Mexico have agreed on a plan that promises to fix the Tijuana sewage crisis.
America, check this out. For 3 decades, Mexico has been dumping millions of gallons of raw sewage into Southern California waters every single day, poisoning Navy SEALs and closing our beaches for over 1,300 consecutive days. And the Biden administration did absolutely nothing while Americans got sick from Mexican toilet water. But here's the crazy thing. It took Trump's EPA advisor, Lee Zeldin, exactly one trip to Mexico City to get them agreed to spend $93 million and permanently fix this disgusting crisis. Mexico just caved faster than a Democrat changing positions on immigration.
Wow.
The United States and Mexico have agreed to a deal to stop the flow of sewage from Tijuana into Southern California.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. As I covered before, this sewage crisis has been an environmental disaster that Mexico and California refused to fix for decades. But Trump's economic pressure just forced them to completely surrender, and it's about time. For those of you who haven't been following the story, let me quickly recap the absolute disaster that we've been dealing with. For decades, Mexico has been dumping millions of gallons of untreated sewage into the Tijuana River and directly into the Pacific Ocean, creating a public health nightmare for Southern California.
It's a crisis destroying the environment, crippling the economy, and making thousands sick. Yet Tijuana continues to dump millions of gallons of sewage every day in the Tijuana River and in the Pacific Ocean.
The pollution isn't just water, it's in the ground, it's in the air. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin visited the area and he said he smelled it for himself, and he said that smell is absolutely foul. Residents of Southern California, this is what they've been complaining about.
Smelled for myself that foul smell that so many residents of Southern California have been complaining about.
At that time, he demanded a list of fixes.
The crisis has been so bad that Navy SEALs who train off the waters in San Diego have been getting sick from contamination. Imperial Beach has been closed to swimmers for more than 1,300 consecutive days. That's over 3.5 years of Americans being unable to use their own beaches because of Mexican sewage. And you know what's wild? While we're talking about someone finally taking responsibility after decades of poisoning Americans, there's another system that's been confusing and overwhelming people for way too long: Medicare. If you're 65,
he's sick with this.
As frustrated trying to navigate Medicare as these California residents have been dealing with this sewage crisis. But the good news is, unlike waiting
he has to sell, you know. He has to sell.
Mexico to act. When Zeldin visited in April, he demanded a complete list of fixes with Mexico that would eradicate this problem forever. It took 3 months, but finally Mexico caved.
EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin told us in April when he was visiting here, he wanted a complete list of fixes with Mexico that would eradicate this problem forever. Well, he flew to Mexico City Thursday morning to work on that list.
Zeldin flew to Mexico City personally to finalize this deal, and the results speak for themselves. As he announced, an agreement has been reached between the United States and Mexico for a permanent 100% solution to the decades-old Tijuana River sewage crisis.
On Thursday, the Environmental Protection Agency met with the Mexican government's environmental head to reach an agreement. It is one that the U.S. has been pushing and waiting for Mexico to come to terms to.
This is exactly what happens when you have a president who's willing to use America's economic leverage to force other countries to stop poisoning us. Mexico has been getting away with this environmental terrorism for decades. Let me break down exactly what Mexico agreed to do. First, they're spending $93 million to fulfill promises that they made that they never kept. These are infrastructure projects that should have been completed years ago.
There are a lot of new Mexican side projects that Mexico is agreeing to.
Second, Mexico has agreed to fast track these projects to complete them faster than originally planned. And third, they're committing to additional improvements that will prevent this from becoming a problem again in the future.
The EPA has now advanced funding to fix pump stations and the Tijuana River collection pipes. In exchange, Mexico has agreed to fund 2 projects this year And when completed, it will eventually divert about 10 million gallons of sewage daily from flowing into the Tijuana River and Pacific Ocean.
The EPA is advancing funding to fix pump stations and collection pipes on the U.S. side, while Mexico funds 2 major projects that will divert 10 million gallons of sewage daily away from the Tijuana River and Pacific Ocean. But here's what I love about this deal. It includes immediate action, not just long-term promises. Mexico is rehabilitating a wastewater collection site right now and will start diverting 10 million gallons of treated sewage per day to sites further upstream the Tijuana River.
The plan also includes actions to begin immediately, including Mexico rehabilitating a wastewater collection site and diverting 10 million gallons of treated sewage per day.
The agreement also calls for expanding the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant to treat 35 million gallons of sewage per day by next month. That's a massive increase in treatment capacity that will make an immediate difference.
It also calls for expanding the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant.
EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin made it clear that this isn't just about fixing the current problem, it's about preventing future problems. He said, where do we need to be in 2030 and 2035 and beyond? We need immediate and tangible action. Meanwhile, San Diego County is finally taking action too. County Supervisor Paloma Iguergue announced a 30-day action plan that includes expanding health impact monitoring and adding more visual warnings about the pollution. Paloma pointed out that this isn't just about sewage. There is also industrial chemicals being dumped. There are assembly plants discharging or dumping chemicals, heavy metals, and other concerning toxins into the river.
Discharging or dumping chemicals, heavy metals, and other very concerning toxics into the river.
So we're not just dealing with human waste, we're dealing with industrial toxins that have been poisoning Southern California for decades, while Mexico and California did nothing. America, this sewage agreement perfectly illustrates the difference between Trump's America First approach and the failed policies of the previous administration. Over 30 years, Mexico has been dumping millions of gallons of raw sewage into our waters while making Americans sick and closing our beaches. The Biden administration did absolutely nothing about this environmental disaster. They were too busy virtue signaling about climate change to actually protect Americans from Mexican toilet water poisoning our coastline. But it took Trump's EPA administrator exactly 1 trip to Mexico to get them agree to spend $93 million and permanently fix this crisis. Mexico went from decades of ignoring this problem to completely caving in a matter of months. This is what happens when you have leadership willing to use America's economic leverage to protect American citizens. Mexico has been getting away with environmental terrorism for decades, but Trump's team finally said enough is enough. Imperial Beach has been closed for over 1,300 consecutive days because of Mexican sewage. Navy SEALs have been getting sick from training in contaminated waters. Thousands of Americans have suffered health problems because Mexico refused to treat their waste properly. But now Mexico is going to spend $93 million, divert 10 million gallons of sewage daily, and expand treatment capacity to 35 million gallons per day. This is what real environmental protection looks like. Not carbon taxes or green new scam nonsense, but actually stopping foreign countries from poisoning American communities. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Great story. He has another one coming up. But I decided that first, before we see the upload for tonight on Tyson Dudley Cruz, we should get to some more information here on what happened in New York. So give me 1 second to...
Good evening, everyone. For those of you just joining us, I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We begin with that mass shooting in Midtown Manhattan. It happened inside 345 Park Avenue between 51st and 52nd Streets. You can see someone with a rifle walking outside the building on Park Avenue that contains the NFL headquarters and the consulting company Blackstone. Here's what we know at this hour. At least 3 people are dead. The shooter also died by suicide. Take a look at this photo of people barricaded inside the building. Witnesses tell us about the harrowing moments of being inside. We could see people walking outside of the building with their hands up. Shootings of this nature in Manhattan are exceedingly rare. Let's go right to our Will Reeve, who's on the scene. Will, give us a sense of what you're learning about what's happening.
3 people killed.
Well, Lindsay, you covered a lot of it there, but what I can see here on the ground is still a massive emergency response after this incident occurred. It's just here, that big building in the distance there, up a few blocks from us on Park Avenue, in one of the most heavily trafficked and well-known parts of New York City. We spoke of those blue chip tenants in that building. This is a major thoroughfare, this area, and just off camera here in the middle of the street, Park Avenue goes two ways up here. In the middle of the street, there's a diner. There are people standing taking photo. All of these lights and sirens and ambulances. There are helicopters overhead, dozens, hundreds perhaps of emergency vehicles here, significantly more police on the ground here walking around, keeping the area secured. Where we are is about 3 blocks south of the actual incident, just a few blocks north of Grand Central Terminal. And if you go down that way, aside from the helicopters, you wouldn't really know what had happened. It might be just another summer night in New York, but around here, there's a wall of light and sound, all because that shooter entered the building, and now 3 are dead, plus the shooter. You saw those images of the office workers
So 3
in
are
that
dead
building
plus the shooter, so
barricading
it's a total of
themselves in, not
4
knowing
people dead.
what was happening to them or to anyone else within that building, where the shooter was, what was going to happen. And they barricaded themselves in and awaited further instruction. And slowly, police have been going through the building, trying to clear floors one by one. If you look right now, it looks just like another New York night. If you didn't see the sirens and all those things, there's not much activity coming, at least from the windows from our vantage point in that building where the incident occurred. But rest assured, police and other emergency personnel are there combing every floor, making sure that it is in fact the case that the shooter who was neutralized, who killed himself on the 33rd floor, was alone, and that there's nothing else in that building. There are people here walking around, coming just to gawk at the spectacle of it all. But right now, we do not know the motive of the shooter. We just know that there are 3 dead, many more injured, and the shooter is dead, and they're working to clear the building and make sure that nothing else happens and that everyone else can go home safely, Lindsay.
And about 30 minutes ago, Will, we could see a number of people, mostly suited business attire, walking, it appeared, from the direction of that building. I understand you're 3 blocks away, so you may not be able to tell. As far as we know, the building is still under lockdown?
Yes, that's what we can tell, but they are, if people are to leave the building, and some have been able to leave the building, I believe it depends on which floor. Again, it was a very high floor that the shooter made his way up to, the 33rd floor, where he ultimately took his own life, and people were barricading themselves in on many floors. They were locked down throughout the building, but on lower floors, people were able to get out. We have not yet encountered in our position here anyone who has announced that they have come directly out of the building, but we have reported here that people were able to leave under a police escort, many having to leave with their hands up to show to police and other emergency personnel that they were not a threat and that they were merely bystanders in this unbelievable incident. To think in Midtown Manhattan, in the state of New York, with stringent gun laws,
I'm not surprised.
this could happen. New York has been through a lot. It will continue to go through a lot as the biggest city in the country and a major city in the world, if not the most major city in the world. But to think a shooter would come to Midtown Manhattan and go into an office building that holds Blackstone, KPMG, big businesses, the NFL, and that this could happen, it's certainly shaken a lot of people here, and a lot of people are fascinated. It's a morbid situation that people are just standing here taking photos. 3 people dead, including the shooter so far, Lindsay.
3 people
And the
dead,
police
plus the
officer
shooter.
was
Will Reed,
killed, I
thanks to
believe.
you.
I believe a police officer was killed. One of the dead is a police officer, but the media has failed to report on it. But yeah, there was a police officer there. But let's go ahead and check out the news conference here. It's not live, but it is happening live. I'm just about 7 minutes late on it, so let's watch together. All right, what's going on here? They're like stuck there. There we go. Move it up a little bit. Here we go. Guess we're waiting on people. Are they waiting on the mayor? Yeah, that's what they're waiting on. They're waiting on the mayor. Where's the mayor? Oh, there's the mayor. All right, get it out.
This never gets easy. I always go back to the beginning of my role as mayor in Harlem Hospital, where Officer Mora and Rivera were assassinated. I remember watching
A cop
family
got
members
killed tonight.
enter the hospital and a loud yell of, "No, God, please tell me it's not true."
Yeah, police officer got
I
killed.
thought about that today when the notification came over from the police commissioner that we had a number of shots fired, and we're still unraveling what took place. And our hearts are heavy. 5 innocent people shot tonight. We lost 4 souls to another senseless act of gun violence, including a member of the New York City Police Department, Officer Islam. He served in the 47th Precinct. He was just 36 years old and a 3.5-year veteran of the department. He was doing what he does best, and all members of the police department carry out. He was saving lives. He was protecting New Yorkers. He's an immigrant from Bangladesh, and he loved this city. And everyone we spoke with stated he was a person of faith and a person that believed in God and believed in living out the life of a godly person. He embodies what this city is all about. He's a true blue New Yorker, not only in the uniform he wore, but in his spirit and energy of loving this city. And early tonight, I met with the officer's family. I told them that he was a hero and we admire him for putting his life on the line. This was his dad's only son. Now think about Jordan, my child, and it's unimaginable to experience a loss of this magnitude. And 3 other innocent civilians are also dead. 2 males and 1 female, and another male is seriously injured, fighting for his life in critical condition because of the violent, despicable attack. Additionally, the shooter is dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. To be clear, 6 total tonight died, 1 including the perpetrator. And I'm sorry, 6 total was shot tonight, 1 including the perpetrator. No words can describe this act of evil, a man who takes the life of others who are innocent. And no words can fill the void that has been left by this tragedy. Our hearts break for the families and friends of the victims. We pray for the swift and safe recovery of the injured. The horrific crime reminds us all how easy it is to gain access to a gun. Gun violence has scarred so many neighbors and ripped apart too many families across this entire country. And we will continue the fight to do all we can to protect our city. But tonight we mourn for those who were killed. And we pray for the families as they go through this painful moment. And as I stated, 5 innocent people were shot. And the perpetrator was shot. We will continue to do what we do as a city, and that's fight to protect innocent New Yorkers. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
Thank you, sir. The information that I'm about to provide is preliminary and subject to change. At 6:28 p.m., the 911 call center started receiving multiple 911 calls for an active shooter inside of 345 Park Avenue at 52nd Street in Manhattan. What happened next is under an active investigation and details are still coming in, but here's what we know so far. Surveillance video shows a male exit a double-parked black BMW on Park Avenue between 51st and 52nd Streets, carrying an M4 rifle in his right hand. He walks towards the building's entrance. That individual was seen exiting the BMW alone. The building's security camera footage shows the shooter enter the lobby, turn right, and immediately open fire on an NYPD officer. He then shoots a woman who took cover behind a pillar and proceeds through the lobby, spraying it with gunfire. He makes his way to the elevator bank, where he shoots a security guard who was taking cover behind the security desk. One additional male is shot in the lobby, per his own statement from the hospital. The shooter then calls the elevator, which opens in the lobby. A female exits that elevator and he allows her to walk past him unharmed. He goes up to the 33rd floor, which is route and management, and begins to walk the floor, firing rounds as he traveled. One person was struck and killed on that floor. He then proceeds down a hallway and shoots himself in the chest. In total, we have 5 victims shot, our officer and 4 other innocent civilians, plus the shooter. The shooter is believed to be Shane Tamura, a 27-year-old male with a Las Vegas address. The vehicle he exited is registered in Nevada to Mr. Tamura. Inside of that vehicle, officers found a rifle case with rounds, a loaded revolver, ammunition, and magazines, a backpack, and medication prescribed to Mr. Tamura. The vehicle was searched by our bomb squad and found to be clear of any explosives. The initial investigation shows that Mr. Tamura's vehicle traveled cross-country through Colorado on July 26th, then Nebraska and Iowa on July 27th, and then in Columbia, New Jersey, as recently as 4:24 p.m. today. The vehicle entered New York City shortly thereafter. According to our law enforcement partners in Las Vegas, Mr. Tamura has a documented mental health history. His motives are still under investigation, and we are working to understand why he targeted this particular location. 345 Park Avenue is a commercial office building whose tenants include the NFL, Root and Management, KPMG, and Blackstone. At this time, 4 of the 5 victims are deceased, including our NYPD cop. Our officer was transported here to New York Presbyterian along with 1 male civilian, the lone shooting survivor, who is in critical but stable condition at this time. 2 other civilians, 1 male and 1 female, both deceased, were brought to Bellevue. The 4th civilian is a female who was found dead on the 33rd floor of the location. Additionally, there are 4 other victims being treated for minor injuries sustained in their attempts to flee the scene. Victims' names are being withheld at this time, pending family notification. Officers from our Special Operations Division are currently conducting a secondary sweep of the entire building. I want to be very clear. We believe this to be a lone shooter, and there is no longer an active threat to the public. But today, 4 innocent victims are dead. Among them is NYPD police officer Didarul Islam, 36 years old, 4 years on the job. Officer Islam was married with 2 young boys. His wife is pregnant with their 3rd child.
Oh
He's
no.
assigned to the 4-7 precinct in the Bronx. He was doing the job that we asked
Oh
him to
no.
do. He put himself in harm's way. He made the ultimate sacrifice.
Oh.
Shot in cold blood, wearing a uniform that stood for the promise that he made to this city.
Oh
He
man.
died as he lived, a hero.
Wow.
I want to extend my profound sympathies to all of the victims and their families, and to the
Wow.
brave NYPD cops who today lost a brother. There are still many questions that we have to answer, and we will answer them. But for now, our city is in mourning for the innocent lives lost. May their memories be a blessing. Pat.
Wow.
Oops, sorry.
Patrick Hendry, president of the PBA. This is a devastating night for our city, for our police department. Pure evil came to the heart of our city and struck innocent people. And one of our police officers who were protecting those people. We lost 4 people tonight in our hero brother who gave his life for this city. He was a hardworking police officer who was proud, we know, from hearing from his family, to put on that uniform and shield of a New York City police officer every day and went out and did his job. And he went out every single day to provide for his family, whether it was overtime or whatever he had to do to provide for this family. That's what he did on a daily basis. And his family is devastated. A wife losing a husband who provided for that family. A father who's not going to see his son again. And our hearts of every New York City police officer right now is hurting. We're hurting for our brother police officer who we lost. We're hurting for that family. We're hurting for all the victims and hurting for all the families of the victims. And we're all asking,
what's going on?
Why?
Why
did pure evil come here?
Yeah.
And we know our police department and our law enforcement partners
Get the answers.
will work tirelessly to get those answers.
Yep.
But now our job as police officers is to be there for this family.
That's
to
wild.
support them in any way that we can, to come together as a city, to be there for these families of the victims. And we will continue to do that because that's what New York City police officers do. And we're going to continue as police officers to go out and protect this city because we know that evil can strike at any time. But police officers are willing to risk their lives to protect everyone in this room and protect everyone in this city. So we ask all New Yorkers to pray for our police officers' family, to pray for all the victims and their families. And we need to stand united going forward. We thank you for covering this story.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, we are also joined by
what happened?
Our federal partners from the ATF and the FBI. I want to give an opportunity to our partner in the FBI, a special agent in charge of the New York City Fields Office, Chris Rea.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, on behalf of all the men and women of the FBI, I'd like to extend my deepest condolences to the victims of this senseless tragedy. And also personally, I want to extend my condolences to the police commissioner And just please know, ma'am and Mr. Mayor, that you have the full force of FBI New York and the full force of FBI to get to the bottom of the answers. Upon learning of the incident this evening, FBI agents immediately deployed to the scene to assist our NYPD partners. While this remains an NYPD investigation, the FBI's New York office stands ready to provide any and all resources to assist our partners. Initial checks of our internal systems have not revealed any information about the subject. But when and if more information becomes available, we will share what we can, when we can, with the public. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do some on-topic questions, folks. Someone at CNN, please. Just a quick question about the police officer. When he was standing in the lobby, did he have a chance to fire his weapon at the shooter, or was it the shooter again? And also, when the shooter got to the floor, approximately how many people were on that floor and what were they doing?
All of this information is under active investigation. Videos are being reviewed. And then as this investigation continues to unfold, we'll be able to answer those questions. But right now, it's an active investigation.
Commissioner, if you could just talk about he was working paid detail there. People who might not know what that means. And was he the only officer working that paid detail there?
I believe that there were 2 officers in the building working pay detail assignments in different parts of the building.
And what is that? People, may say he's on his day off working the uniform.
Paid detail is a program that we have set up at the police department that allows companies to hire officers in uniform to provide extra uniform security.
Yeah. Damn. He was working detail. Like, he was working. Yeah, that sucks.
I already described what we found in the vehicle, and it's too early in the investigation to discuss anything more. As I said, too early in this investigation to tell, but nothing that we have seen preliminarily. I cannot. I cannot, other than to say that our partners in Las Vegas made us aware of a mental health history.
Wow. They gotta scrub the media, the internet.
Just what I said already. It was an M4 rifle, and we also found a revolver in the vehicle with ammunition and magazines. He did have a license in the state of Nevada. At this time, it's too early in the investigation to tell.
Thank you, everyone.
And that was the press conference. Okay, so that was the press conference, and yeah, officer down. That sucks, man. That really sucks. A lot of innocent people died today, man. And it's gonna happen more and more, which is what it is. Let's go do this. Let's check out. Let's get to the weather. Let's get to the weather. You know how the weather could distract us from all the craziness. All right, let's just check it out here, and we'll watch after this. We'll watch Tyson De La Cruz.
All right, it is it's time to track the tropics. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade, and let's talk about what's going on. We've been fortunate, at least across the Houston area. We did have a weak tropical disturbance dump about 4 inches of rain on us Friday evening, but it wasn't a tropical depression, and it didn't strengthen to a tropical storm or Hurricane Dexter, so we were spared. It was kind of dicey there for a while on Friday night, but at least it wasn't an official tropical system, although we did get a lot of rain. I do want to show you an official tropical system. It's nowhere near us, though. You can see the Hawaiian Islands. We have to go all the way out to the Central Pacific, and this is actually well south of the Hawaiian Islands. So this is a look at Hurricane Iona. It was fairly weak just 24 hours ago, but now it is blown up to a Category 1 hurricane. It is spinning out there in the Central Pacific. And if you do have some vacation plans to Hawaii over the next few days, good news is that it is expected to stay to the south of the Hawaiian Islands. But it is officially a hurricane, and it does have maximum sustained winds around 75 miles per hour. Movement is to the west at 10 miles per hour, and it's actually forecast to become a Category 2 hurricane by Tuesday afternoon.
Wow.
With winds around 110
That's just going to increase the waves
miles per hour.
for
So
Hawaii.
fairly potent hurricane out there. So thank goodness it's just staying out over the open water, not messing with anyone, but it is going to slide to the south of the Hawaiian Islands over the next few days. So we'll watch Hurricane Iona closely, but I don't think it's going to be any major impact to land. However, as we go a little bit farther to the east, this is the western eastern Pacific, and this is a look at Invest 98E. So this is not quite a tropical depression or tropical storm yet, but there's a medium 60% chance that this could become a tropical system out there in the western East Pacific. So it is starting to get more organized, and that one will likely
I don't know.
follow
I
a
see a
similar
big
path
blob
to Hurricane Iona. Also, as we get closer to Mexico,
How come they
now
cover
we are
the
in
storms? What they
East
look like?
Pacific. Of
All
course,
this
this is the
red
Gulf.
shit.
This is the East Pacific. You see Mexico here.
Oh,
There's
come
Houston. There's
on.
Dallas.
You guys
So
are
this
horrible.
disturbance is developing a lot
You're
closer to Central
covering all the
America
storms.
and
We don't
to
see what they
Mexico.
look
So
like.
this is Invest 99E, as if we didn't already have enough other
Oh,
systems here. But
God. You're
this is
kidding me,
another
right?
system we're monitoring. And notice we've got the red shading here. So
Oh, they
I'll
move
put this
this
into
forward.
motion.
This
You can see as we go
bullshit.
through Wednesday, Thursday, notice it looks like a system here, a system there, a couple
Okay, let's go for it. Because
out there in the Atlantic.
this
We're
is
probably
lazy.
not going to experience too much tropical activity. So notice our Fox Weather tropical model as we go through the rest of the week, showing some clusters of disorganized showers and storms coming off the west coast of Africa and trying to move west across the Atlantic. But there's not really anything that's looking very organized, looking too impressive.
Okay, let her. Okay, let her
At
talk.
this point. So National Hurricane Center still thinking over the next week, no tropical activity across the Atlantic, the Caribbean, or the Gulf. So hey, let's celebrate one more week, hopefully, of quiet tropical conditions, but we can't let our guard down. Because August is right around the corner. It starts, of course, in just a few days, and that chance for tropical storms and hurricanes will increase. Highest risk in August is going to be right off of the east coast of the U.S., from the Carolinas up to the mid-Atlantic. And there's even a little area of orange in the north central Gulf for a more likely chance for a tropical system for August. So we are going to watch those hot spots closely. Notice that in September, that is really when things typically historically get active for us. The purple area is the most likely region of hurricane development, and that's going to be the western Atlantic. Once again, not far from the east coast of the U.S., parts of the Caribbean looking very active, and potentially in the Gulf, there could be some action. So we'll have to watch.
Okay, all she's doing is just showing you a bunch of colors, right? Let's come to my reporting on the weather. God gracious, help me. As she was saying, the Atlantic is quiet. That's what she was claiming, right? Okay, I'm looking at this right here. This right here is looking very impressive. It's starting to blow up right now, and it's gathering strength. The Leeward Islands is right here. You have a system that's rotating right here between the 10 north and 40 west. Yeah, we got a system that's right here. Let me see if I can get a close up of that. I need to get a close up on it. Oh boy. Oh boy. This might be Dexter, right? That's the next one, Dexter. This might be Dexter. It's holding. The storms are holding together, and the Leeward Islands is right here. Barbados is right here. Trinidad Tobago is down here. You got all the Leeward Islands here, and you have this system that is getting itself together as I'm speaking right now. This is live. As that lady was like, "Yeah, nothing's gonna happen in 7 days. It's all good," not knowing that this area is actually favorable. And it can't. There's no crosswinds coming across it to rip it up. It's very in a very peaceful area. This storm has an opportunity to do something if it reaches like down here. Oh man, this storm can take off. The environment is there for it, so that's the one I'm truly looking at. That's the one I'm scared of right there. Yeah, not good. Let's take a wider look here. Let's look at let's see what's in the Western Atlantic. See what's going on. We got an open wave here that's moving along. It's gonna be a lot of rain going to Belize. Belize is gonna get a lot of rain coming soon. All I see is the atmosphere being primed. Like the atmosphere is priming itself, priming the atmosphere for something to come. Like something's coming. Oh man, that storm. I see it right here. It's just oof. Let's see what's coming off of Africa. Remember the big storm that came off of Africa that was here? Well, that system is like right here now. It's right here. Look at this storm right here, man. The one in the front, that it looks like it's getting itself together. Oh man, it's actually looking more impressive on this image coming off of Africa. It's looking good right where it's at, and this one back here too. This one just came off Africa. We got one down here. Are we gonna go for a triple storm? I don't know. But you got one inside Africa that's making its way, and it looks huge. As far as like radar's concerned, it looks like a baby's face on it. Like right there, it looks like a baby's face. Let me see if I could pause this. Right there, doesn't it look like a baby's face? Like the ears, the head, the eyes, the mouth. Like it looks like a face. This looks like a face to me. All right. But it's a pretty big system that's going to be coming across also and heading into the ocean. This one right here is I am super hyped about that one right there. This one back here, it could get its act together, and the one back here too. So you got like three systems that could possibly develop down the line. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting times. It's gonna be very interesting times. Okay, let's go to. All right, where am I? Okay, I saw that one. Okay, so the last one for tonight, because it's already 11, I'm like to get off of this. The last show was going to be Tyson De La Cruz, and Let's see what's up with Tyson.
Pair of medical workers who blocked ICE agents from arresting an illegal immigrant in California are now facing criminal charges.
America, we just got a perfect example of what happens when you think you're above federal law. 2 medical workers in Ontario, California are now facing up to 15 years in federal prison for physically blocking ICE agents who were trying to arrest an illegal immigrant from Honduras. Jose Ortega and Danielle Davila thought that they could grab federal agents, wedge themselves between officers and suspects, and obstruct a lawful arrest. But here's the reality check. It doesn't matter if you work at a hospital. It doesn't matter if you think you're being compassionate. And it doesn't matter what your politics are. When you put hands on federal agents, you're committing a felony.
According to the criminal complaint, ICE officers were conducting, quote, roving immigration-related operations when they followed a truck that made a sharp turn into the parking lot of a surgery center. The officers then, quote, decided to conduct a consensual encounter with the 3 adult males who were inside the truck.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This illustrates the difference between legal protests and criminal obstruction. These people crossed the line from exercising their rights to committing federal crimes. And now they're learning that actions have consequences. Let me break down exactly what happened and why these medical workers are now facing serious federal time. On July 8th, ICE agents were conducting immigration operations when they followed 3 men in a truck that made a sharp turn into a surgical center parking lot in Ontario.
An intense encounter captured on video earlier this month, while federal agents say they were conducting an immigration operation in Ontario.
Let go!
Are seen trying to intervene by blocking and pushing the officers.
2 of the men ran, but one, later identified as an illegal alien from Honduras, ran into a surgical center. And that's where Jose Ortega, 38 years old, and Danielle Davila, 33 years old, decided to interfere with federal enforcement operations.
It's cell phone video that went viral a couple of weeks ago showing employees at a surgery center in Ontario trying to stop federal agents from arresting a suspected undocumented immigrant.
The criminal complaint is very specific on what they did. Davila wedged herself under Officer 1 and the target alien, while Ortega appeared to grab Officer 1's arm and his vest. Both shouted out at these officers, telling them to get out and let him go. Now, these 2 are facing some serious federal charges: assault on a federal officer and intimidation to prevent them from discharging their duties. If convicted, they could each face up to 15 years in federal prison.
An intense encounter captured on video earlier this month, and today, more than 2 weeks later, federal officers returning to the scene and arresting Ortega for assault and intervening.
Ortega was arrested Friday morning, but Davila is still on the run. Federal sources tell Fox News that they went to her house, but she wasn't there. So they also talked to her family, and now she's considered a wanted fugitive.
Yeah, and talking to federal sources, they are actively looking for Davila right now. They went to her house this morning. She wasn't there, so they talked to her family, and she's considered a wanted fugitive right now. So we'll update.
Both suspects were warned by officers that they should not touch federal agents, but they continued their interference anyways. The illegal immigrant was eventually arrested and removed from the surgery center. Of course, immigration activists immediately jumped to defend these criminals, claimed that they did nothing wrong and they were exercising their rights. One activist said, in no way were they interfering. They were simply exercising the right to privacy. They were exercising the right to know who's in the building.
In no way are they intervening. They're simply exercising the right to privacy. They're exercising the right to know who is in their building. They're exercising the right to know who is in this building with a weapon, right?
But here's the problem with that argument. ICE agents identified themselves as federal law enforcement. They weren't random people with weapons. They were sworn federal officers conducting lawful arrests. And you don't have the right to physically grab federal agents and obstruct their duties. The activist continued. Listen to what he had to say.
And I think it's important to note that that what they did is commendable, and it is brave.
Ortega's family is expressing shock at his arrest, with one of the relatives saying,
My uncle is not a threat to society. He is a father, a son, an uncle, a friend, a co-worker, a brother, and a U.S. citizen of America.
Look, I understand that families want to defend their loved ones, but being a father, a son, a U.S. citizen doesn't give you the right to assault federal officers. The law applies to everyone equally, regardless of family status or citizenship.
Today, Ortega's family speechless by what happened.
Right away, just you want answers. You want to know what happened, why it happened. So we were all completely shocked to see that.
But the answer is pretty clear. He physically grabbed a federal agent who was conducting a lawful arrest, and that's a federal crime. There's no mystery here. U.S. Attorney Bill Assaley made the government's position crystal clear in his statement about this case. He emphasized that there's no sanctuary spaces when it comes to federal law enforcement.
And we want to be clear because there's an idea out there that somehow there's safe areas or sanctuaries, whatever you want to call it. There are no sanctuaries from federal law. It doesn't matter if it's a hospital, a medical facility, a court, a church. There is no sanctuary from the enforcement of federal law.
Bill Assaley also addressed the critics who might say that these medical workers didn't know what was happening.
They may have not known who the target was, but they knew those were federal agents. They identified themselves. And in fact, I think one of the defendants was asking for a warrant. So they very well knew they were law enforcement officials.
The message to anyone thinking about interfering with federal operations is simple. Don't get in our way. Don't touch our agents. If you lay hands on agents, you will be arrested. Whether it's in this moment, weeks later, or a month later, it doesn't matter. We'll find you, we'll arrest you, and you will face federal charges. America, this case is a perfect teaching moment about the differences between legal protest and criminal obstruction.
Hey, let go. Get out. Coming into a private business like this? Get out. You're touching the federal agent. You are not a federal agent to begin with. I'm not touching you. Identify yourself.
You have the right to disagree with immigration enforcement. You have the right to peacefully protest. You have the right to voice your opposition to government policies. But you do not have the right to physically interfere with federal law enforcement operations. You do not have the right to grab federal agents. And you do not have the right to obstruct lawful arrests, no matter how much you disagree with them. Jose Ortega and Danielle Davila thought that they were being heroes by protecting an illegal immigrant from Honduras who had ran into their surgery center to evade arrest. But what they actually did was commit federal felonies that could land them up to 15 years in prison. The illegal immigrant that they were trying to protect wasn't even a patient in the facility. He was just using it as a place to hide from federal agents. And now 2 American citizens are facing serious prison time because they decided to take law into their own hands. This is what happens when activist rhetoric meets legal reality. For years, Democrats and immigration activists have been telling people that they cannot resist ICE operations and create sanctuary spaces where federal law does not apply. But that's not how our legal system works. There are no sanctuaries from federal law. It doesn't matter if you're in a hospital. It doesn't matter if you're in a church, school, or anywhere else. When federal agents are conducting lawful operations, you cannot physically interfere without facing serious criminal consequences. The days of treating immigration law like a suggestion are absolutely over. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, and go to another great show. Yeah, it's just we just live in weird times, you know. Let's see what tomorrow brings us, because every day is a new day. Every day is always a story, and every day there's news. So I will do this again tomorrow because I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. So everyone have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And do this again tomorrow and see what the news brings. If there's, important news in the daytime, then maybe I'll come in the day. If not, I come on in the evenings and recap the day of the wacky news. The story continues. The world it's a wild place. Just be careful out there. Always stay alert and, just keep your head on a swivel. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace.